listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box here at criticalmassradio.co.uk. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, coming at you live from an undisclosed location somewhere on Earth, somewhere in the universe. What does it matter? It's all physical anyway. Anyway, busy day, I guess. I had a few thoughts that needed to be downloaded onto essay form, of course. And I decided to do a full circle with the choices essay and create a prologue, which, you know, people would say the epilogue, but no, see, I don't deal with the under. I deal the row effect of the row key. It's quite interesting. It turns the low key into the row key, right? The spirit breath key. And that spirit breath key does not reside in your mind. It resides in your heart. That's where it lives. That's where we are. That's where we live. That's the center of the known universe, and you're the only one that knows the center of your universe. So it's really a journey to the center of the heart. I just spell it differently. I just rearrange the same letters. You know, that's what I do with allegories and anagogics to make it really, really clear for people. When you start seeing the magical nature of this reality, at first it can be a little bit unnerving because you're thinking, "Oh, this is like crazy. How is this working like this? It's such a coincidence here and here and here and here." Because, well, there are no coincidences. There is only coincidence, which is when things happen exactly because they're supposed to. And it's only when you start seeing through this particular aspect of the program that you start taking control of your own ship, your own helm, where you can take control of your own mind again, and you are not going to be ruled by another. That's the thing about the universe and the way we've got this all set up here, that the nonsense can go on for so long until parts of the consciousness finally begin to awaken to its source potential, true potential, of all that is, all that ever was, all that ever will be. And here in Meat Stick Planet, Earth, we got a little bit sidetracked in having our pure intention corrupted by others' soulless and without that pure benevolent intention. And, well, such is a lot of those that wanted to play on that side of it. What you sow, so shall you reap. And I wrote this essay regarding that. I was kind of tossing it between the idea of, the Passion of the Christ, and by the time I got to the end of it, it was getting abundantly clear that, well, the Passion of the Christ was a choice that was already made. So it really wasn't about that. It was about the choices that we all make every instant of every moment of now, where our thoughts traverse the entire universe in the twinkling of an eye. And, twin culling, duality culling, or are we more apt to understand it from the singularity perspective, where you, as part of all creation, all consciousness, are both capable of good and evil? Well, God creates good and evil. That's a fact. You can create whatever it is you want. And really, what separates us at this table from, and again, this is about the separation from the all. What separates us from the masses of humanity? And it's really a very simple thing. It's the intent and the choice contained within that intent, where there are aspects of us that are just quite content to go along, to get along, don't rock the boat, don't tip the boat over mentality. There are those of us that are saying, sorry, this boat is riddled with holes, it's sinking, it's bullshit, and who the fuck is at the wheel? And then you suddenly realize that, oh, wait a minute, that's my job. And then you do it. And then you start taking control of your own ship, your own mind again, where that mind is no longer under a hood, which is another mind, hood, ship, psi, ment, ent. The list goes on, and you start tearing apart words to see so much more contained within them. And then you start seeing how the words have been literally flipped over, upside down and backwards, and used via the sound, which is pure creation, pure vibration, with a little hidden, or let's say a hidden intent on your carrier wave. And the carrier wave is pure creation itself, which is what any being with spirit and or soul consciousness. Remember, I talk about the soul as in the overall all, right? Not as your soul, my soul, etc. Because, you see, religion did a beautiful job in separating humanity from their own soul. I think I mentioned this last night. You know, one of my favorite questions to a Christian or anyone of any religion is, well, when you die, what happens? And they'll generally tell you, well, my soul goes to heaven. I just say, great. Where the fuck are you going then? Well, and that really always stumped them. It's like, because you see the duality in that statement. My soul goes. Huh? Okay, well, it looks like we got shut off and cut off there for a second. I was on Skype checking. Okay, well, I'll go back to the room and see how long that was. Okay, just to go back on this, the BTR call-in number tonight is BTR listener 022. Go figure, it's 22. It had to be. So hopefully you guys are hearing me okay now. It seems that we got bumped again. So you guys hear me okay? Catch 22. Isn't that funny? Thanks, Bindi. Yep. Good stuff. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting ride tonight because of what I'm going to be unleashing. I will be unleashing the Kraken of Krakens tonight. And cards fall where they may. All right. Thanks, baby. Yes, and I will bring it on. Appreciate that. Okay, so let me see. Where was I going? That's the thing, right? When you get interrupted with silly things like signal drops and whatever, it's annoying. But at the same time, it's perfect because it was meant to be. So I just accept it. Now let's move on to the essay. First off, before I do this, because I have posted this not only on my my own homepage, but also in the discussion group that was set up. See what I mean about people working behind the scenes? You gotta love it. Anyway, I do get a lot of requests for Facebook contacts. I am at the 5,000 limit. My apologies. Apparently, you're only allowed to have 5,000 friends in the world, and according to the system, I've reached my limit. But I don't buy that for 1 minute. So, interesting enough, we have, like I said, there is a discussion group that I will be spending infinite amounts of time on, alongside my own homepage. But I know the groups can grow to whatever the hell they want to grow to. So the group is called Kate of Gaia Discussion Group. So just search that on Facebook and send along a request if you want to be a part of the group. And that way you'll be able to get complete updates all the time, because like I said, I'll be working between this page and my own homepage to keep people in the loop, and that way I get, it's easier for me to stay in contact. As you can imagine, I do get a little bit busy on this end. Had a couple of phone calls today as well. Great chatting with you, Sam, and wonderful chatting with you, Colleen. And you know, this is just an amazing moment of now that we're all getting to experience. And for me, it's about cutting off all of the last of the shite that is still sticking where it shouldn't be. Well, I'll stick it to where the sun doesn't shine, quite frankly, and that works for me. But anyway, without further ado, so again, it is Kate of Gaia Discussion Group. Just search that out on Facebook, and that'll bring you to that page. Send along your requests, and everyone gets added. So, yeah, we had quite a jump in there today. So I think this, and I just put the word out, I guess, about 4 hours ago. I think there's already been about 60 people that have come over. So, yep, so we'll stay there, and that way it's full access, and we can all hang out. In the meantime, and without further ado, I'm going to read The choices prologue. You'll understand what I'm talking about when I get through it. And really, this is a consciousness gift to you for those of you who stood in the face of it all and who stand constantly in the face of it all. And you're starting to see your own power. And this is the most important thing that people need to see. And this is, as far as I'm concerned, the only role I have here is to bring that to you, how to get there. Because I know that you are all powerful, you are all creation, and that we've been duped and dumbed down for far too long, and we've had quite enough. And it's like I said, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make gods. And I think I know of a few other people that are doing the same thing, have done it in the past, and are doing it alongside me as well as you. You know, so this is the path that we have chosen. We knew from a very young age, and I mean, the stories that we share are so similar that they're effectively and essentially the same story anyway. So this is why, for me, it was very easy to observe others that were standing in truth, and those that had reached had said they wanted to stand in truth and had reached their own fear threshold, and they ran away and denied truth, went back into serving the very beast that's devouring them, which is unfortunate. But again, that's their choice, and there is nothing I can nor anything I will do about it. I simply let the golden rule manifest, and that which you wish upon yourself or upon others you've wished upon yourself. And don't worry, if the intent's there, you get another go-round on the merry-go-round. Yay, same game all over again. Another Kate deja vu moment coming at you live on criticalmassradio.co.uk. Okay, so let's get into this, shall we, and have a little bit of fun. All right, Choices Prologue by yours truly. Which you too, by the way. I'm just another point of view. How does one begin to explain things that are so far removed from programmed thinking in such a way as to even begin using words to say it, let alone expect acceptance of it? Where does one start to outline the mental traps and pitfalls laid out so clearly once one begins this so-called journey of truth and self? How do you tell a programmed Christian or any other religious zealot that they're actually flowing energy to the very dark forces they purport to loathe? Benevolence doesn't come to you in robes, uniforms, and pageantry. It comes completely naked with nothing to hide. It doesn't serve itself first and then claim to be benevolent because it shares only table scraps from the food you provided. That is a realm of malevolence, deceit, control, and quite simply, purest evil, the mirror and antithesis of live. And what are those that serve this darkest of intentions? What are we to say to expose them when the vastness of humanity has been duped for so very long under shrouds of secrecy and deliberate misinformation? How easy is it for someone that actually has benevolent intentions, going along to get along in the mother of all tricks, matrix, to accept truth that flies 180 degrees in the face of their pre-programmed realities? How does one try to expose the very program that is in full force and effect controlling their minds to defend this very program with some literally to the death? Truth be known, you don't. You simply plant the seeds that only true spirit hears and walk away. It took a while, but I no longer have the concern I used to for these most willing to hear truth beings, where, if it is their wish to fall, I let them. It matters not to me who they are in relation to me, as I learned in the contrast that I mattered not to them anyway. Live and let die after all. It was this very concern on my part that led to the most painful of lessons, in order that I may finally see this unconditional truth. My value to humanity will be measured in deeds, not material stuff. That is the norm for those caught in these webs of deception. If they are simply too blind to see, it's not up to me to pry their eyes open. It is up to them if they are meant to, and ultimately worthy of this most difficult of spiritual tasks. It is quite the trap here, in that we all have lived this physical existence, running on information devised to keep the mind versus the heart in control of the reality. I see the system worshippers and enablers in the same way I remember a kid that loved to beat frogs to death with a dog brush, slowly. Fortunately, I never witnessed this pure evil, but rather only sickened by it. This is the same mindset the majority of our supposed law keepers act in, whether they are robed, suited, or uniformed. It's all the same psychotic beast to me. I see anyone who allows or creates suffering of another in the same light as the Roman guards relentlessly flogging and whipping the Christ in the Passion of the Christ. The religions have done well to encapsulate a state of being in a singular meat stick that is somehow coming to save them. Honestly, if you experienced that level of spiritual and physical flogging, would you be so willing to let go? This was and is the real lesson that was being shown, yet the supposed duped religiocosus chosenitis types will be the first ones to condemn you, steal what they can from you, and, in the end, justifier, blame you for all their woes. This is exactly what one can expect from those you are trying to awaken to this lesson to set them free. I have learned that slaves love to be slaves. It requires no courage to be one. Just the same as a slave, one must piss the master off too much. A slave must go along to get along, or get whipped or executed if they don't. Regardless, every slave must be a willing participant in their own slavery, lest the system fails completely. A slave must be well conditioned with physical fear in order for it to be controlled, so well conditioned that they do these things gleefully thinking that they are actually free. While one master exists, so must a slave exist also. This program is easy to spot, and as simple as being a tad disgruntled because someone is stealing from you and have the nerve to tell you that that is normal and that you must accept this. This is why the illusion of an external government exists at all. With governments come their police, their militaries, their robber barons, their lords, their mayors, and all manner of psychopathy to keep a slave in order. It only works because of the lack of responsibility most lack, and act in a typical childlike manner they do. The supposed governments on this planet are just placement in this planetary game of let's play house on a global scale. As I recall, I don't remember Henry Ford going to any Ministry of Transportation to get a license to drive his first car, and nor do I remember Orville and Wilbur Wright doing likewise. They simply did their thing. Humanity reminds me of the child in school putting up their hand to ask permission to pee, as if psychotic control indoctrinated teachers controlled that most basic of natural laws. Your body decides if it has to pee, nothing else. I have exposed too many things on too many occasions regarding what feigned power these behind-the-curtain wizards actually have, and it totals out, and after rounding it out as well, to an absolute zero. Nada, zilch, nothing, zero, sweet fuck all, period. So controlled are so many that the mere mention of truth has them pulling out their cat o' nine tails in fear, drooling with glee to whip you, and all the while using pre-programmed justifier reasons as to why they must. Truth shorts out the program, and the program is not happy. I have wasted countless hours with so many one-on-one to expose the fact as true, and why I don't even bother anymore. You cannot negotiate with insanity, and you cannot reason with liars and thieves. This is the insanity of those still messing about in the legal romper rooms like free men or sovereign citizens. Sorry, patriot types. Guns don't solve shit either, and only lends itself to deeper and darker responsibilities of possibly killing a spirit-filled human versus an already spiritually dead bioborg. Are you aware enough to spot the difference yet? If one's emotions control their mind, that ability is blinded because only in a neutral observer position can you begin to even understand the difference, let alone spot it. Humanity is rife with dead biocomputers, soulless and empty, but they look and act like normal human beings. This is why I know the supposed world leaders are nothing but these walking dead bioborg, without any sense of spirituality, because if they were otherwise, wars would not exist, nor would money, religion, politics, courts, police, militaries, or anything resembling this system infesting our world around us. The instant any politician or the like calls for war and stands front row and center on the front line as the first to die, I may start to reconsider, after there's seen to not be another patsy. It is my wish that I can move hearts enough to stand in truth against all odds, in defiance of their own programmed minds. It is my wish to show others that if one is hurt, we are all hurt in kind. Most of the talking heads of humanity sell wonderful snake oil with pre-scripted scenes designed to lull humanity into thinking that they and only they know what's best for everyone as the next fear porn scene flashes across the TV screens. They paint one side as evil and ramp up the how good and free you are, and before you know it, you're marching down the main street of a city claiming victory after the murder of millions, waving one flag or another that I see as unworthy to wipe even Satan's ass. Unfortunately, the cold hard truth is not easy to see, and even more difficult to accept, let alone stand in. It requires one to stand in defiance of all things rammed down your gullets as normal society, where the more easily managed slaves are grabbing their pitchforks, whips, and guns in the same way as the mobs in the aforementioned movie. I've wanted to do a write-up on this movie, and I suppose that is what this is. For those that have seen it, how sickened were you observing humanity represented as a whole in this allegory? And kudos to Mel Gibson for making this so gut-wrenchingly excruciating to watch and literally experience. This is the same gut-wrenchingly excruciating, painful experience every truth seeker has had to endure, mostly from the ones closest to you, your family, your friends, and those that serve the system of their own slavery. I think the toughest part about this is simply just knowing this. You have been left for dead, ridiculed, hated, stolen from, targeted for rumors, lied to and lied about, and so on. You have been hung by those you tried to help. You have been abandoned by those you love. And the only question I know you likely asked was, why? But you already knew that answer, and it lay in the striving for unconditional love, which is the no compromising where matters of truth, pure truth and heart are concerned. You did so and do so because you know no other way but that most lonely of roads that few find and even fewer walk. I've come across so many people that started out on this road but dropped off to oblivion the instant their own fears smothered the truth they claimed to seek. That is what I call conditional truth, in that I will stand in truth until it costs me or doesn't suit my own selfish desires and vengeance upon others. That is where I see most, if not all, those in the system and freeman psychosis. The insanity of that is the same as going up against a tank with a Nerf gun. No, truth is not a convenience or a means to winning. It is the only thing that destroys all system programs and their masters. Truth is the ongoing evolution of self-manifest spirit, a journey of purification that separates the wheat from the slugs that feed on it. In it, no one can control you, manipulate you, or more importantly, parasite your living field, which is their only source of life. This is why Respawn's ability of self far exceeds anything these psychotic aspects of a dead consciousness can muster, because without you, they are dead, and they know it. All this poison needs to keep it alive and flowing is your agreement, your spiritual contract of simple acceptance and nothing more. Yes, is that easy. That is where attention flows. That where attention flows, energy goes. Energy being the inner G hex, or the inner hex, and GOS is the hexes of creation. So have a look at how attention, have a look at how attention you literally pay to this poison shetty, or how much attention rather. Typo, all good. Hey, I type in a hurry. Anyway, shetty is a term I use for dead, soulless bioborg meat sticks, the mimics of humanity, the copyrights. I have watched, counted, and measured all the Judases in my own life in the contrast of pain and gratitude, where those with souls know not what they do due to the spiritual and mental infestation of an aptly named Cyst M. So I know this. Those, however, are the doomed, and the banished from consciousness, never to return. In short, they've had their 1,000 years to find their own souls and failed. I mean, seriously, how many kicks at the can does one need to get it? I offer the same mercy offered me, fully in your mirrors, where no quarter was offered, nor shall quarter be given. Those that make rules are now compelled to obey them. And there is, after all, only one, and that puppy is golden. They won't get it because they can't. They are the last bastions of evil, soulless, without remorse. And in the golden rule, their wish is now granted, and the law of truth cannot be more beautiful than that. How do I know this? Well, it's easy, because never a peep gets returned to anything I send to the dead of our realm, because they can't answer. Truth and responsibility cannot be mimicked, copied, or manifested from a dead consciousness, because it's dead. Why do you think their system is one based entirely on dead things like corpse, dead body, military corpse, corp orations, cops, silent or no R, thus no spirit breath creation ability, and made to sound exactly the same as core, which is heart, and core, which is the true center. When you are part of their core, corpse, your heart is sonically spelled dead. Literally, and all your creation ability is no longer yours, willfully given to another in full knowing or ignorance of knowing. I'm only concerned with those that are ignorant of this truth, where the rest are doomed to non-existence anyway by their own choice. I will not trespass free will choice by anyone or anything. If you wish love upon all, it reflects back perfectly. If you wish harm on one, you wish it on all accordingly, and why the insanity of those playing Nerf balls with tanks are only manifesting their own doom as well. No, the truth seeker's road is not an easy one, given the decrepit nature of this world and humanity as a whole, but it is the only road out of the long-dead Rome and all its evil servants. Can you handle this road? Are you willing to once and for all stand in full knowing of who and what you are? Can you endure the mindless slings and arrows from the walking asleep and walking dead alike? Are you strong enough to stand in defiance of all the evil this world propagates? Do the children halfway around the world matter as much as your perceived own? The sheer lunacy of claiming to own a child, any child, is exactly the same mirror of why children are enslaved in the first place. Take the time and spot the spiritual contract here that binds all children, and why I see all living spiritual humanity as just another point of me, with all jetty or shite removed once and for all. Start thanking all your religious friends for keeping the dream of wars alive, because without their zealotry and hatred of other religions, this could not be possible. Thank them for so vigorously whipping you while you were down because you rose from their shite-infested manure spreading. Give them a great big hug for worshipping their satanic masters and serving the beast so diligently, because in that contrast you find the true meaning of the state of being called Christ consciousness, the same thing many ancient masters taught and were murdered for. Have them look at themselves as the mobs calling for the release of Barabbas, a known murderer, while the messenger of true consciousness gets flailed and nailed to death. Dare them to see their respective clergy as the very same Pharisees and scribes running from crucifixion, knowing full well the measure of what it cost them, their souls. That moment of realization of truth that they have long denied to serve their personal lusts and greed comes upon them like a thief in the night. It will be in that moment that they will realize how far they fell, and to equally realize that they must also endure the same crucifixions that we have that we have had to find our way home. I would actually feel pity on them had I not spent years and countless pains endured to get this message to them, which fell on deaf ears, until the doors to the true ark finally closes, circuit complete. I cannot pity those that time after time inflict pain, showing no remorse, no compassion, as they went busily about their days looking for new targets to satiate their sadistic lusts. They are the child rapists, the master thieves, the deceived deceivers of themselves. They are the pinnacles of this society, the so-called elites, the money whores, the religion whores, and all manner of the claiming to lead society, and the blight upon consciousness itself. They are your clergy, your mayors, your police chiefs and captains, your rank-and-file politicians, your duped teachers and professors who spew well indoctrinated and carefully cultivated shite empowering the reality of this loathsome planet systems. No, I choose truth at all costs. I will not bed this whore, nor will I feed it one single agreement on any level where this beast has marked itself for execution long ago, foretold, and now coming to bear. These are the choices we all must make, and ultimately stand in, if we rid this place of the poisons of a corrupted mind, heart, and soul. If you are not for the truth absolute, then by definition you are against it. I continue telling everyone that this road is not easy, nor should it be. It is, however, simple, with its rewards and consequences mirrored in equal and opposite singularity, where choosing the physical temptations in a body-stuck reality, or one of infinite spiritual existence. I choose the latter, where this physical reality is merely another step to climb back home. This is the difference between recycling in the mere ego round until you have lost all sense of soul, or pushing through the last contractions and rebirthing your own reality, removing these psychos and their servant mini-ions from consciousness altogether. I am the master of my fate, the captain of my soul, as so perfectly stated by William Ernst Henley. Yes, William, there is only one way after all. I'll share the poem I live by here as well, called Invictus. This poem was still hanging on my door when I went back home 2 weeks after being kidnapped by Shetty minions, and served as a reminder and inspiration during the 28 days this filth held me in solitary. Hey, Humpty, if you can't handle the truth, then get off my fucking wall. Easy peasy. Was and love, yours truly. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever odds may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. William Ernst Henley. So there you have it. Just like that. So anyway, lots of interesting stuff, and the energies that have been flying around lately are simply a measure of what is going on in the consciousness, the great stirring, if you will, and it will frazzle some, and that's okay, because in these last little frazzlings that we experience, we get a clearer picture of the contrast of what we are and what we would never want to be again. That's the only contrast or contract you need to concern yourself with. It is your soul, individual contract. It is how you clean the shite off your glass to remove any vestige of box. The box is a construct. This whole system is that construct that keeps the physical in the physical. And why you will find it ultimately difficult to try to get through to those, especially those closest to you, that would come to you in a heartbeat to help them with their physical woes, to satiate their physical needs, greeds, and lusts. But the instant they are made accountable for these self-same things within themselves from a spiritual side, by daring to call a Christian a hypocrite, which they are. They're not doing what Christ taught. They're doing what their clergy rammed down their throats. Yes, these are the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune on the path of the to be or not to be. I just chose. There are two paths that we can all go by, and in the long run, there's still time to change the one you're on. And that time, unfortunately, for many is running out, and for some, that time never existed anyway. They have lived long past their worth, and I can't even say they lived, because when you're using another's life source to parasite and control, that's not living. That's death. Nice game they got going on. I'm just not playing it anymore. So spend some time breaking your spiritual contracts with everything around you. Remember, trust no one. You're the only one that can do this. As I've said many times, you are the only point of consciousness you can be aware of. Everything else, including me, this voice, is an illusion to you. Remember that. The truth is only that which resonates within you. It's not your truth, nor is it my truth. It simply is truth. And the truth is always self-evident. And the truth is easy to spot. It's generally the thing that makes you go, oh, God, this is going to hurt, to stand in it. But it won't. You see, we are so far down the road right now. I just want to pop back to the Skype room and see if I can spot this again. I do pay attention. What room was it in? Was it in the lighthouse? No, I think it was a green room. Where were we? One sec, guys. Almost there. Oh, yeah, this is from We Are Here. Yeah, great little post. Weird, I scared off a cop today with intent. Of course you did. Because now we're standing together, and that power is granted to you. That's what happens when you take responsibility for truth. These guys bounce off you like water off a red-hot Teflon pan. So don't ever doubt that. Yeah, your soul is pretty powerful because it is the all-soul. It is one soul. So it's pretty cool. There we go. Anyway, there we are. I just got to the board, guys. So I think this might be Tracy calling in. Let's get the board open.
Hi, Kate.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Oh, man, your writing today was right on point. I don't know if others are noticing, but the ego bioborgs are just exploding. They're feeling pressure and going off, going crazy, which, I can understand because truth's here and it's hard to, real difficult. But what I really loved about your writing, I'll have to go through it again because each sentence was so profound. But, from the system and the government and even the Illuminati or whatever, I expect it. But the most painful one is the one we've been discussing the last couple of weeks again, is the personal relationships. And I had that experience again today, and I think I finally learned. It was still hard to believe, but it's true. It took me 44 years to finally accept that it's true, that I care more than they do. I see more than they do. I love more than they do. They don't want truth. They just want friendship or relationships are about what you can do for them. And
yep.
It hurt again.
Well, yeah, and see, this is what has been going on lately as well, Tracy, with regards to a lot of the heightened energy on the board over the last week or two, and I've just let it play out because I know what it is. And what this is this is the example of the dying throes of the system and the last remnants of anything that would be potentially still within our psyches, our individual points of consciousness, getting removed, getting thrown out there. Get rid of this charge, guys. Get rid of it. And the more you stand in truth, for me, it's just like this brilliant neon sign showing up. Look at how frazzled the world ego is, and that it has to actually manifest itself at the table that is purging all of this shit. So again, this is just another example, an allegorical, anagogic example of the sheer power we are wielding at this table against all of the consciousness. Where I got to tell you, what's happened over the last week or two, I feel is the entirety of the ego consciousness coming to bear at this table. And the only question I'm going to ask is that the best you fucking got? Really?
Yeah.
I had a great chat with Sam today. Had a great chat with Colleen as well. Unfortunately, for some reason, my cell didn't want to work too well today with Colleen, so hopefully she's on the table tonight. And again, this is exactly what I was outlining with Colleen, because I know what's going on. I can feel it, I can sense it. And again, I'm just looking at the effects now and asking myself the question, okay, how did I'll take responsibility for my own creation, because all of you are the part of that too. And this is where you get your power back, when you start taking responsibility for, oh, cool, look what I caused. Because you do. Literally.
Yep. And I agree. I took responsibility. I sold myself short because I didn't think enough of myself. And so I take full responsibility for that, and I'll pay that price. I am paying that price, and that's cool. I'm fine with that. Not a problem.
Well, that's a key thing you just said there. What we're learning to do finally is to love ourselves. And that's not a self-love. That is being, I said it last, I'll say it this way again tonight, because this is what really resonates deep with me. Those things that I could no longer accept or tolerate within myself are now equally unacceptable and intolerable in everything outside. So as within, so without. And all I do with that is project that. And guys, it works. Try it for yourself. I mean, again, don't take anything I say just because I say it. You need to go out and prove it to yourself. And I'm always open. If somebody finds something more powerful, let me know, because I haven't found it yet.
I totally agree with that. With friendships, because I don't do romantic situations at this time, but with friendships, it seems like, well, I'll let that lie slide if you let my lie slide. And the relationship is, if either one points these things out, that's what we're calling relationship and love and friendship and help. And the minute you take responsibility, which I started this conversation in my situation today with taking full responsibility, and then, you took responsibility and say, I can't tolerate, it was my bad, I did this, and we're going to have to renegotiate this relationship. But they wouldn't take any responsibility, and then they just started firing off on things they were guilty of. I was never guilty of, and I'm like, oh, wow, okay, I understand now. I really get it. And that's okay. It was my bad for being gullible again or whatever it was, but I learned, and everything's okay, and I'm going to be fine. I trust myself, and I trust this universe, and I trust my true family, which is this table, and everything's going to be fine. But another great thing you said, which I totally believe in, is if people are going to fall, let them fall, because I believe they need their experience, and I'm not there to prop them up, and just let it fall and be brave enough to do that.
Oh, exactly.
No matter how much you care, just watch it fall.
You see,
because you love them that much.
Yeah, when you start putting everything in the mirror, and this is where you start to see the true value of self and the true value of truth and unconditional love. When you value yourself, finally, you'll understand that it is not you losing anyone around you. It is all those around you that have lost you. And I do a couple of things I want to share, and I've got Richie has chimed in here, but a couple of things I want to share first. Looks like it's Paul Giovanni's birthday, so a big happy birthday to you, Paul. And that's the we all know Paul. He's the one that made this table possible, and along with a whole bunch of others that maintain it, keep it possible. Great thanks again to Paul, and of course everybody at criticalmassradio.co.uk. And Ninja, thank you for putting that essay up on the Gaia.wordpress.com website as quick as you always do. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Paul.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, awesome. He knew what he was doing.
Well, yeah, we all do. It's just now we're aware of it. Isn't that cool? I love that. Now I know why I did that. That's really the game, you know. And I'm getting back to what Tracy was talking about with letting go, and this really is the most difficult thing. And I'm going to show you something very powerful. You know, I do that deal in the now thing. So late last night, some friends here got some Chinese, and I chipped in and was able to get vegetarian thing. And then I normally, grab a fortune cookie because there's always a fortune cookie, right? But it never even crossed my mind. But I guess it was around 1 o'clock in the morning. Couldn't sleep, whatever, and that's normal. I went out to the kitchen, and lo and behold, there was a single fortune cookie sitting on the counter. And it's cool. That was the one that was left for me. And guess what was in that fortune cookie? Well, let me share it with you. Okay, now you all know what the intent was yesterday and the last few days about letting go of the Judases, paying them off, giving them their 30 pieces of silver and saying, thank you, I am dead to you now. And the door's always open, but they got to be the ones to talk through, not me. That's all I ever did was, if I didn't initiate contact, I would never hear from anybody unless they needed something. That's when I got the call. But anyway, here's what was on the fortune cookie. How interesting is this? A group of people is missing you. Seriously. Coincidence?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
No.
Yeah, definitely a group of people is, and as long as they want to miss me, they'll miss me, and that's okay. Again, it's the arms are open; they always have been, and I believe we have Barb.
Well, I wrote a letter to you.
Oh, there you go.
Yes,
there you are.
I wrote a letter to you. I wrote you a letter, Kate. May I read the letter that I wrote to you today, April the 6th? At 11 o'clock this morning, I was on the bus heading over to another part of town, and I wrote the letter, and the song came on called Poison Ivy. Poison Ivory, Poison Ivory. Late at night while you're sleeping, poison ivy come a-creeping along, long. So that came on. And as I was listening to that, I said I wrote this letter to you. Can I read the letter that I wrote to you?
Oh, please do, hon. This is your table. No one needs permission here. You do what you need to do. That's kind of, you know what that is? That's like the rule that isn't one. Do your thing, baby.
Listen at this. I said, Kate, totally relaxed. I know you are relaxed still. As Lionel Richie would say, totally relaxed. You know, Lionel Richie always say still. So remember, we are your family, and we cannot pick our family according to our perception in living life. I love you, Kate, and I wish not dream for you. Goodness, I wish laughter. I wish darkness to be in you, and darkness to me is much love. I want it to flow in your life for the rest of your life. I wish you can get a handle of as much dick in life as I have handled in life on this plane. I'm going into my Santo Penate now. I am not a battered or abused child. I am your mirror. So, yes, it is simple. Tell me that Simple Simon poem. You remember people used to say Simple Simon. You know that poem, Simple Simon? I don't know it. That's why I'm asking somebody to tell it to me.
Simple Simon met a pieman on the way to the fair. I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to Google it. But Tracy dropped off there. But if somebody can Google that and please share it.
Thank you. And then I said, I am a Tim Carey of Rocky Horror Movie fan and a Susan Sarandon and a Tim Robinson fan. I have loved these people in their careers of entertainment. I remember a good friend called me from St. Louis, Missouri, and told me when that movie, Thelma and Louise movie came out, she called me talking about Barbara Moore. Girl, that could have been us. And I remember those ladies drove off the cliff at the end of the movie. I'm not really a movie watcher, so I didn't see the whole entire thing. But I do remember people saying, that they go off the cliff. But then she a Pisces, and I loved her dearly. But I called her a stupid bitch. But I'm thinking that I'm going to ride off the clip, but that's how she felt. That's how good that movie apparently had been to her. And then I said, there is no visible. Is this for you? Let me see. There is no.
Here, Barbara. Bobo.
Yeah,
Bobo.
yeah.
Hang on. Bobo has posted the Simple Simon. So let me read this, then you can continue on.
Okay.
See, asking you shall receive. Thanks, Bobo. You rock as always. Everyone does. Simple Simon met a pieman going to the fair. Says Simple Simon to the pieman, "Let me taste your ware." Says the pieman to Simple Simon, "Show me first your penny." Says Simple Simon to the pieman, "Indeed I have not any." Simple Simon went a-fishing for to catch a whale. All the water he had got was in his mother's pail. Simple Simon went to look if plums grew on a thistle. He pricked his fingers very much, which made poor Simon whistle. Interesting. Yeah, no allegory in that at all. Holy. Anyway, Barbara, go ahead. Carry on, my love.
It is my innocence to abuse that allows me to enjoy living the life in San Francisco. It was so much respect out there of people and kindness and good manners that people practice in living in San Francisco. I remember I was apparently raised as a conservative child with plenty of everything respectfully because I lived in a Republican state. I met you, Kate, a Gemini, on the street, on 14th Street and Market Street in San Francisco. You were walking around in a black lace slip and some blue jeans, and you were just so very happy and handsome. Oh, you were so handsome. This is in the letter I wrote to you. It says, a Gemini from New York City, he was from a big, loving family in New York. He was now living in San Francisco. This man was so very beautiful and handsome. He could have posed for the Jesus Christ, well-known picture that we all know. He was that type of fine. He also could have been Tim Curry's little brother, because he was also fine, and, that puts him in the Russell Brand, that's my trinity. This friend of mine, Coco, Tim Curry, and Russell Brand, I put them in. I do a trinity thing every day. I choose somebody to be in my trinity to think about it. Those are people that I have on my thoughts. Somebody I think about every day. And so I said, he counted, and he could have been a Count Dracula, too, because he had those two long teeth on the side. I don't know what teeth they are, but it's the ones that Count Dracula had. He had that naturally, but he was lively. And we'll show you when he died. He's dead now. My daughter found out about maybe 3 or 4 years ago that he had been partying with some people. He was on the internet with this party, and he was partying with some people, and his drug of choice was heroin. So he had apparently OD'd, and the paramedics, they came and they revived him and brought him back to life, but then he went out again. And they was reviving him, and the damn battery went off in the emergency equipment. So he went in Paris that time. But that was a Gemini. He was that type of person. So I just wanted to share that with you, Kate, to let you know that you can't do any wrong in life. Like all the goodness. For you to tell me that you put me in the movie, I think I am Martin Scorsese. I'm just writing up a song because Kate said that she's going to, I'll never hit any more stardom. I could be in Kate's movie. And so those words that I have for my little sister.
You guys are all the directors of your own movies. You are already superstars, and this is we're at the point now where we're changing those very stars. We're not buying into the paradigm of the old status quo, if you will. No, you determine your own fate. You are the master of that. Don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. We've bought that lie for too long. They used to ram it down our throats in school. You better get this spelled right. You better get this test right, or you're going to be made to look like an idiot in front of your peers. And of course, there's the incipient program of the peer pressure and competitive. Don't want to lose. Don't want to look bad. Humiliation, shame, guilt. All of these things are drilled and riddled into children. Instantly set foot through the wall. Anything.
All right, this is like paper being a song. What's up?
Yeah. No, it's okay. Go ahead. Yeah, Barb, just be careful because your mic is really sensitive and it's picking up stuff.
Oh,
paper and stuff like that, shuffling. Oh, yeah, it's loud.
Hey, Kate.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm waiting for you, Richie. Door's wide open.
Hey, you know what? Awesome. Yeah, I like the part there where you said, my soul's going to heaven. All the lost ones there, right? My soul is heaven. Dopey.
Well, yeah. Yeah. It's one of my favorite words. Nice going, Dopey.
I know.
I love that word. It's so fun.
I like that word too. You know, you hit so many points, and I want to make points on it, and I don't know what it's that. It's like
again, it's a single concept. That whole essay is one concept of united we stand and divided you fall. I won't say we fall because I'm not. So united we stand and divided you fall. I've chosen my road. I've chosen to stand in it, and I will not yield this. There are no compromises to truth. You either stand in it, accept it, and deal with it, or you keep doing the same old, and I am so done with that. Oh, my God.
I have compromise written under my soul is heaven, too. Yeah, that word compromise. You got to let that sink in.
Well, promise is with promise, and you are to swear no oaths. So I simply stand in truth. I don't need to swear that I will, and I've made my deals, if you will, with myself. I swear no oaths or anything to anyone. I simply know that all I need to do is stand in truth. And when you do this, and this is for everybody, when you do this, and not only are you going to see it for yourself, but what you're going to experience now is the collective energy of all of us now that are choosing to stand there. As soon as one more stands, that power goes exponential. This is where you become the Teflon, and everything bounces off, and it doesn't even come close to you.
I think you're right that the representation of this table is a complete reflection of what's manifesting, on this planet. I see that clear.
And these are little storms, Richie? Like, they're little storms. So this is how pitiful the attempt is on the overall consciousness, and that's why I've just let things go and let people do their thing, and blow off this energy, because I know at this table, of all tables on this planet, it's not going to rule us. All that's going to happen is that whole thing is going to get destroyed. So that's why have at her, boys and girls, get rid of this last shit energy, because we're the only ones capable of doing it and walking away neutral afterwards.
Right.
And we have Darren in again tonight, by the way. Looks like he just popped in.
Namaste.
Well, we're here this Aries season. So on the Washington Post, on Santos' birthday, March the 24th, they had this article. It says, "Sin Among Saints. The drug haul was unremarkable, but the destination raised eyebrows. The German custom officials intercepted a shipment of cocaine destined for the Vatican in January," says the weekly Baal Am Suntag reported Sunday. That's the name of the paper, I guess, the Baal, BILDAMSONNTAG. They reported that Sunday. The officers at Leipzig Airport found 12 ounces of the drug packed into 14 condoms inside a shipment of cushion coming from South America, the paper reported, citing a German custom report. You hear about that before?
Well, no, again, this is... I've heard, again, none of this stuff surprises me. They'll report 1 ounce, and people will go, oh, it's just an ounce, not a big deal. But, again, this is... here, we'll let them catch the ounce, but the hundreds of pounds that came through on other human mules typically children, I imagine, got to the Vatican just peachy. But guys, the whole point of this, and you're so right on there, the whole point of this is these are the very people. It was going to the Vatican. I don't care if it was a gram of coke, okay? It could be a ton of coke or a gram of coke. In for the penny, in for the pound, baby. That's how I see things. If a wrong is committed, it doesn't matter if you murder somebody a little bit or a lot. You've still murdered them, That's kind of how I
All right.
So these are the supposed leaders of our society. These, to me, are the empty shetty. These are the ones that have no right to exist, because the only reason they do exist is because of the parasiting of our life force that keeps them alive. And that life force is given up as simply... remember, every thought is a universe. Every thought is a choice. Every thought is a manifestation. And any agreements that one has with the system, then one is in contract with it. And the easy way to nullify that is and I've talked about this with people, to put their own minds at ease. Yes, there are things in terms of keeping this physical body alive in the current awareness we're in, and we only do the things that are absolutely necessary with the intent of taking it all down anyway. So there is no contract with system. If there is, it's one to destroy it. And that's the only contract I will offer this system. It's self-destruction. I merely drive a steamroller.
Hey, Kate, I wanted to say, too, before I forget, when you read that fortune cookie, there's a group of people that have been missing. That group in my being is the other points of Christ consciousnesses. That's what it is. Because that complete and utter reflection within my mind, reaching that being, that absolute, complete and utter being, that it doesn't need to destroy the ego, because it already has. It's already. So let me just say this, is that I want this frequency to go out through all the people that are listening, through all the ears, through the stratosphere, through the air waves of this planet, is that the only ones that the ego can take down are the ones that are rising and journeying into that Christ consciousness. You see, them you can play with, them you can trick, you can fool, you can lie to, you see. But the ones that have reached that Christ consciousness, untouchable. You're all done.
The ego cannot rule spirits. The ego can only rule the ego that a spirit is under the spell of. Now, ask me, why do you think I take a chainsaw to it? Darren, jump in here, my friend, please.
Oh, come on. Why make me jump in? I'm present.
Present, indeed. Saw you coming.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah,
Everything
great chat.
Everybody's sharing.
Yeah, great chat last night after the show as well.
It's great to exchange thumbprint data, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And
we have one.
Yeah, and then some. So I'm actually doing a bit of juggling on this end here, too, because, again, I'll say the Creative Gaia discussion group on Facebook, for those that are not able to connect with me as a friend. You will be anyway, it doesn't matter. As slots become available, because I know there's quite a few spam friends in there that are getting knocked off pretty much every day or so. But by all means, get over to the Creative Gaia discussion group. That's your group. That's your room. And I just merely hang out there. Again, it's just a map reference. This is why I love names. They're just map references now. It's not. That's just how to find the real me, as I get to find the real you, that's cool, right? Find your way.
Hey.
You put that perfect.
Expansion is it. Just full on out there.
Oh, this game's over.
Rise above the fears. We wonder why people are the way they are and can't look at us on the street and are shy, because they haven't accepted themselves. They spent 12 years in school getting told to shut up, look forward, do your own work, don't talk to your neighbor. We sit here and scratch our heads, blame them for being rude, and my neighbor's an asshole and we don't even know his name. It's kind of comical.
You know, yeah. Is your name Darren?
Well, that's what they call me.
Oh, all right. Yeah, he sounds a little bit like Brandon. Your voice, I think maybe.
I have many faces. I've been called so many things. I answered to all of them too. Hey, you.
Yeah. The map reference that you can find, Darren, specifically is you can use the what do they call that? The GPS coordinates, Darren, just like the GPS coordinates for me are Kate of Gaia. And there's others, but that is actually the easiest one to find the point of reference that is me. But that all depends on where I am. So if I'm not online, I'll be somewhere else, and someone else can find my map reference that way too. So see the difference of it being a name, not a name any longer, but merely a way to find the true being. It's just a map reference.
Hey. And if you walk with
Kate, mute me. I gotta go and finish cooking my green. Mute me, please. I want to hear, but I don't want to talk.
Okay, baby, I got you. There we go. Okay, so anyway, carry on, guys. I'm sitting back a bit tonight,
you know what?
Okay? I want people in tonight. I want everybody in tonight. So I'm going to sit back and let's go. All right.
Well, we're running the gamut. We're running the gamut, Kate. We're running the gamut. Damn it.
Everything we share expands.
Absolutely.
If you want to see me, you want to know who Darren is, the one they call Darren, it's a smile as you walk down the street, and when you get that smile back, you met me.
There you go. Yep.
It's that simple.
Yep.
A while back ago, one of the times I threw my hands up in the air listening to Kate. She was talking, someone asked her, how does one person save the world? You know? Well, you don't. One person doesn't save the world. Or how does one person save the world? Darren. I used to get in defense. My ego would go into defense, and because I don't claim nothing. And I started defending myself, and as soon as I witnessed that, I went, hold on. I'm in no space of defense. I'm accountable to creation alone.
Mm-hmm.
When I hold that rule, it's held for me, period.
Mm.
And then he asked me again, all rude and snide. I say hello to your neighbor. Better yet, what is your neighbor's name? No answer. Complete look of, I'm an asshole. Right you are. Right you are. Because when you claim right or wrong, judgment, you open the paradigm for yourself.
Yeah.
And the whole bag of whistles that come with it. So if you want to meet me, walk with a smile on your face. I'll say hi.
Every time.
Namaste. You know, my younger brother, bless him, one of the few in my family that actually sees a Darren. You know, he's hearing what I'm sharing with him, because I'm not coming from like I'm telling you. I was coming from, this is what I've seen in this life, brother. We had the same dad. He graduated too early, but that was his choice. Only took him 4 years to call that in.
Mm-hmm.
So we went for a walk to the mall. I said, the only way I can explain it is show you, because you have to see it for yourself. So we went into this great big giant abortion of a consumption. Holy God, I was like, this is ridiculous. I couldn't stop laughing the whole time I was in the place. I said, when we get in there, you're going to see three types of people. Those who co-create. Those who walk in the world, you know, in a good way. And there's no us and them. It's just they co-create. They procreate. They walk forward. I said, they're going to smile at me. The old ladies, old guys, they're going to look at me as if I'm Jesus himself. So don't get freaked out. I'm finally getting used to it.
I think, you know what, Darren? That's the hardest thing for people to get used to, because as soon as you actually get it, you are Christ. You are the Christ consciousness. It's a state of being. It's not a meat stick.
Nope. No. It's your heart. That's that 8th chakra activated, the higher heart, or what they bastardize as twin flame, where it's someone outside of yourself. Anything that leads you outside of yourself and tells you it's outside of yourself, take a nice deep sniff, and I assure you, you'll smell bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Anything.
Yeah, this twin flame stuff I didn't watch it yet, but I got Joan of Arc, and it's another thing which I'm not going to get hot and heavy into. Like time is everything. We got this whole game wrapped up. It's perfect. And the flames, at any time, any one of you in this Christ consciousness, especially the ones that are able to quiet themselves to that 0 point, you will see energy. You'll see what they call these flames. You'll see rays of light. You'll literally see it.
Yeah, you want to hear something?
But I'm not going to get into it.
Oh, here's something just to tie some anagogic up here. Again, pay attention to your path, guys, because all your clues are there. And I just Dee just sent me a beautiful post or an email. Moon and Jupiter to present Stunning Sky Show April 6th, which is tonight, Earth Sky. Now, pay close attention to this. The Jupiter, looking for Pate, which is 8. This is not easy to explain, but I got to tell you what just hit here is beyond funny. Anyway, it's from Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Look it up for Pate, P-A-T-E, dissolved into Pater and Pater sons. I'll read this all. May 22nd, 2014, to replicate the answer N8 or Nate, maybe Nathan and Nathaniel or No, On, and Annette. Now, here's where it ties together and where you can't make shit up. For those that have listened for any length of time, hang on. No, this is deeper than that. When I look back to the early days of radio, whatever, an individual that I was connected with, his name was Andrew Patterson, and of course worked very close with Kevin Annette. So there in this one email, you have the dissolved into Pater and Pattersons, May 22nd, 2014, to replicate the answer N8, maybe Nathan and Nathaniel or No, Ann or Annette. So that whole illusional paradigm of especially the COINTELPRO shite that and fear porn that Kevin Annette represents. Funny how he'd get witnesses to open up, and shortly thereafter they'd end up dead. I think a total of 6 or more at this point. So there was a couple of posts on my Facebook today. I anytime I see any association with anything that I've already exposed, I'd rather that people do not bring that energy, especially to my Facebook. So there's fair warning. Again, with people like Kevin Annette and Janice Barcelo and all the rest of it, I should have saved the comments that Janice attacked me with after she was busy defending a known murderer and cohort of that's walking around the world trying to be common law court this and common law court that. I got to tell you, for someone that is so out against the Queen and the Pope and everybody else, I don't see him getting grabbed. Do you? No, I only see those that are exposing the real truths that are getting grabbed for silly things like not having ID. So here's a guy jet-setting around the planet, spewing absolute fucking shite, and using the genocide of the natives as the shield to somehow look like the good guy, when there is a lot more nefarious stuff going on behind. And I did meet this guy in the flesh, and pure empty, pure shitty. And I got to tell you, the look of fear in his eyes, when he looked at me, that really set off alarms with me. And I'm thinking, why would anybody look at me like that, with a complete paranoia. It was paranoia.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
It.
You've seen it. You've met them.
I've seen it. They look at you like you could crush them. They look like they can't even see their own selves. They blink. The little computer blinks on and off over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Pure truth.
You can't deny it. Nope.
Can't beat the feeling.
No, you can't. And I tell you,
no thinking or knowing is going to give it to you.
No, you got to stand in it.
You feel it.
So, yeah. And Bindi, I opened your mic, by the way, so I figured you might want in tonight as well. I wasn't sure.
You know what's happening too, Kate, is, and it's only taken a short time because, and this is the witness, is when your intent is pure. It's as if when you speak, I don't know, and others as well, reaching that point, I don't know if it happens when I do, but that just makes you another witness, is that it just completely resonates and becomes a part. It's like we say, it's me. It's as if that energy, Christ, it's just there, It's just there.
Well, that's the gift of everything.
Crystal clear.
The past is the gift
Crystal
of everything.
Clear.
All the allegories that is revealing the truth. That's a gift for the book that you write in every moment. I carry the Christ consciousness. It is what it is. But I assure you, it doesn't end there. Before the word, there was nothing. Ka, ra, ya, sa, ta, ha, la. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, wakey.
Funny
how that works.
The fact that you're listening to this, you're at the table. God, like when you share at this table, we should be heard.
Right.
Well, I'm listening.
Right.
And that's for everyone. If you've heard it and you're just going to add what was said, know that in that moment that you're fulfilling, like I'm doing it right now. Kate was going. But when we interrupt that flow, that bump in energy takes someone who was just about to add something that we all wanted. And we didn't even know it was there.
I feel it every time, too.
I hear you.
Honestly, guys, it's like a punch in the gut.
It really is.
I'm letting you guys know that. You see, this is the thing. I know when someone's on a download. That's why last night, when you were, let that roll. And how many times did something jump in on it? You got to learn, guys, that when these things are happening, they're pure. And that punch in the gut is the fact that one thing that was waiting to come out, and there's how the ego is programmed. Can't shut the fuck up, can it? Right? Just can't shut up. It's got to, I'm in there. I know. That's why we're here. So turn all of that off. So when you get the downloads, let them go. Otherwise, it'll come back, but it's going to be a different moment of now, and it's only prolonging your own fucking suffering and mine. So thank you.
Well, I swear, like last night after I was off, it took me 3 hours to come to Earth.
Yep.
It took me 3 hours to ground back into the water sack I'm in. Because I've programmed this water. It's crystal clear, the best I can. It has its moments, but I catch them. And they're never held accountable on another.
It's the call we remember too. That's the thing is I completely continuously remembering is just being not being the contrast. Like we say, it's the toolbox. You get the contrast there. These are the tools.
Yep.
That's it. I take them and throw them in the shed.
Forget it. I handle them with care. I love my tools. I sharpen my edges. I dull my handles. You know, the handles are what handles the tool.
You know what I listen to, too?
Remembering is what you shared best in that statement. Remember. I remember.
Yeah.
Because within that remembering, you're getting affirmation.
Yeah, absolutely.
You provide affirmations, Richie.
Yeah.
The acknowledgement of the self will allow you to be acknowledged.
That's right.
Accepted at the table. Right?
That's right. And only the ones with a pure heart and pure intentions are the ones that are gonna see this. And the thing I'm gonna I had to listen to last night's show. I had last night's show. I had to listen to it. Yeah.
Because I don't know what I said.
You too, huh?
Serious.
Why do you think I write so much?
I went through
that me?
Yeah. Oh, it's not a me. It's magnetic electric. It's for everyone.
That's what I mean when I say that. Yep. Yep.
And it's beautiful. I mean, the first time I discovered that it was a capacity that we all carry within us was hearing Kamloops music in the park. There's 1,200 people in the crowd. At the time, I was walking in ceremony of water from a beautiful river called Glacier River. It was under threat of being diverted 22 kilometers, wiping out 12 watersheds. They were going to generate power through drilling a hole through the mountain and making a tunnel. So my teacher, she's not my teacher, she's a sister. She
nice.
Water walk, Google water walk, find that one. The truth of that tunnel is under law, tunnel and pipe are considered as the same thing. Once anything enters a pipe, it becomes a commodity. It's saleable. Oh, doesn't that sound like your emotional state and how it leads you around? Sounds pretty saleable.
Well, you know, the way I look at it, too, is I
carried
redirect
water. I carried water, Richie. I walked around for 3.5 months with a jar of water and asking people to share their intention of love with it.
Nice. Now that is nice.
That
now we're going to
the power of intention, clear intention.
Yes.
We took water from that river. It went all directions. We were not going to protest. We were not going to court. We're not going to hire a lawyer so when we show up, the court goes, oh, they can't manage their own affairs.
Yeah. A lawyer.
So,
and water has memory. Water has memory.
Totally.
That's right.
I had to tell little original elders, I don't like that word anymore. I had to tell the originals, the grandmothers of the original peoples of this land, and no. You try to take a drink of it, I'll take it away. And I tell you what, an 80-year-old woman looking like an 8-year-old child is beautiful.
My name is Fabian. I just tuned in. I think you are an amazing, just like Kate and everybody who calls in. This table attracts the greatest spiritual teachers. You guys are great spiritual teachers. We're spiritual teachers, but I'm learning so much from you, and I'm so grateful. Where are you, in Canada or North America? America?
I am on Turtle Island.
You're figuring it out, Fabian.
I'm on unceded land, which is
nice.
Corporately named British Columbia.
I love it. You know, I have to be honest with you. Living here in the United States, we really don't know a lot about Canada, even though I did get to go when I was a child. But Canada has the highest vibration of spirituality on the continent. When I was a young kid living in South Carolina, no more, I got a book from a guy named Hogue, John Hogue, and he had said back in the 90s in some book that in the 21st century, the North American continent was going to be the new mecca of spirituality, and it is coming true.
Hey.
Oh, we're transforming the whole world.
The globe is.
They built it for the Christ consciousnesses. See, that's what I'm starting to see. It was built for that. And you know what, Fabian? Yeah, you're right. And as you begin to see it in one, you begin to see it in the ones, which is the one. And this table here, right? We are the teachers of the teachers.
I'm no teacher. I am no teacher.
No.
Well, what I'm getting at is Wayne Dyer. So I mentioned Wayne Dyer, and I had listened to him because I listen to everybody. I really, what they say, whether I don't deem it as good or bad, I listen to everyone, everything, right?
Everything.
That's the thing. Yeah, these ears. I do not have them, to not hear. See, that's the specific reason that I have them, right? And the three top so-called, spiritual leaders in the other realm was the Buddha, Eckhart Tolle, and Wayne Dyer. Well, what I put out there, the frequency, throwing it out there, they best tune in to this channel. You see, this channel will begin to resonate and have the Christ knowingness enter into them. So if they're going to do anyone justice, listen to the people that listen to them. You see?
Right.
So,
right.
And
good point, Richie. Good points. Speaking of that male, and I'm thinking, because I love this table because of obviously Kate. I'm a Kate groupie. But the thing is I totally get the male point of view, but I also like hearing the females, the women, point of views as well. Like the lady who just read that beautiful poem. So and when she was saying that, I was thinking of seeing Kate on Castro walking around with a pair of jeans with the slip over it. I'm thinking, now that is a free spirit, because I've been in San Francisco in the past few years, and it's not the way it used to be. A lot of it's conservative now, especially in the Castro and the older areas. You got a lot of high-tech startup nerds that are not in tune with spirituality the way you all are, and this is going to pull it all together for everybody, and that's the beauty of the internet, isn't it? It's like a God mind.
Yeah,
the cloud.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, use the tools, not being one.
I am no tool. I am the tool.
Yes, I'll use that tool. Thank you. And again, I really like to lose the teacher thing, just because of what the connotations attached
separation.
to it. Yeah, this is why
automatically,
right? I mean,
this
Bible,
is
it says so that they may all be one. I mean, isn't that we all one, like you said?
Yes,
exactly.
If you want to call me anything, call me a reminder. Just a nagging reminder in the back of your head saying, "Wake the fuck up, stupid." That's all.
You know what, Kate? When I say teachers, is we're the ones that know how to use the stuff that's in the toolbox. You see?
I don't know. We're learning to use them. I will never claim to know how to use them yet, but I am in the process of that spiritual evolution, learning how to use them. You see, that's a very fine line, Rich, and I'm glad you brought that up.
It is.
Because when you claim to know something, it just smacks of arrogance. And that, to me, is part of it. Hang on. Let me go here, guys. Thanks. That's part of the whole program of the ego that makes it grip to other egos. And I know what the glue is. This is probably the best way to describe this. I know what the ego glue is. It wants to stick. It's a virus that loves to mesh with other pieces of itself, and we have been in a condition of so asleep that we have missed these meshing points. And what I've been doing for me is I've been one by one unmeshing any of these egotistical agreement of and they just smack of program. You can tell what they are because they are heartless. There is no emotion of compassion in them. For me, compassion is the most powerful tool because it's neutral in that it accepts all things. In the same way that, even your worst enemy falling off a cliff, you have the instinct, the life instinct, to grab their arm, and and pull them back. And what I've learned to do in that compassion is knowing full well that the very same thing that I have constantly and continually saved has always come back to stab me in the throat. So I love myself enough to stop doing that. And that's really the only difference for me, is I'm just not going to let anyone that I know that is going to willfully do that. That's why you cannot save anyone, because the one you're going to save is the same one that's going to cut your throat. So this is why those of us that get this and we stand alone together, collectively, that's for me the real defining moment within me. So I'm not going to wish anyone anything other than what they've wished for themselves. You know, the life preservers and lifeboats are out there. If people want to climb in and get on board, that's great. But you're going to have to do it on your own, because everyone is capable.
Yeah,
it's choice.
I think it's one of
hey,
the.
Kate, just before I forget, and that's right, because what I'd like to add to that, and I've said it to you before, I said you are the greatest unteaching teacher, because basically when you say a teacher, right, you cannot give the Christ consciousness anything, right? So it really is the flip side. It's unteaching. This is what this table is all about, is unteaching what it is you are not, you know, for that, you know, that's it in a nutshell.
Well, it's deconstructing the construct, and it just takes a bit of practice and a whole lot of patience. Bindi, you were going to jump in. I just want to let everyone know we've got about 25 minutes left here. I've got area 972-905 and 805 in the call, and 4430 Vita. I've heard you a couple of times. For those that do want to call in, you can call in at 661-467-401. And, of course, you can Skype in BTR listener 022, or go to the Blog Talk page and hit the Skype button there and follow your nose. Once you're on the board, just hit 1 on the dial pad or 1 on Skype. Sorry, I had to figure it out. You will, too. It's all good. Once you learn it yourself, you learned it yourself, and no one can take it away from you. No more mitten strings, so have at her. With that, a great big thank you to Paul Giovanni. Again, happy birthday. And criticalmassradio.co.uk for the fact that this table exists, that we can all gather to remind each other of how friggin' awesome you are. That's all I'm here to do.
Yes.
Okay, so
my teachings.
Yeah, we got 33 callers on the board right now, guys, so there's still room for some more. So figure. And now, guys, be mindful. There are a lot of people on the table right now, so I do want to hear from everybody. Yes, I want to hear from you, but please be mindful. This is why I'm sitting back right now, because you know I can go on and on for hours. And I sit back and I mute my mic so I'm not instinctively ego going, yeah, okay. Okay? So enough of this shit, guys. Let others in, and let's do this together. And I don't want to have to keep reminding, because I open the mics and I leave them open. This is your responsibility to each other now. So stop jumping all over everybody. Okay? So with that, I'm just going to shut up and let you guys carry on. If we roll over, we roll over. We'll see where it goes. I just love sitting back and watching you guys go. I love watching God in motion.
Yeah. All right. This is Alvita, and I'm jumping in first. So everybody hold up 1 minute. Gemini on board right now. Anyway, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I just wanted to say that there's so many levels to everything. You know, even when you know you are the Christ consciousness or God, or you're just awakening, there's so many levels to go through. You know, like Kate, she's really leveled up. So we're just, you know, not following her, but, you know, listening to what she's saying. And you know when you get those aha moments that you've leveled up again, you know. So each day I always say, today I have new eyes to see and new ears to hear, so I can see something new every day and, you know, see that I'm making progress and leveling up. But when you have those aha moments, that's when you're leveling up again. So next, thank you.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Well
hey,
done.
Kate, this is Colin. Colin, how's it going?
Good. How are you? Long time no chat.
I'm doing great. Hey, you know, I won't be around for my birthday, which is on the 9th, and maybe on Tuesday, would you be willing to give me a chart reading?
Well, I see. I don't really do chart readings. That's Santo Bonacci's area of expertise. What I can do for you is, and I don't like doing it too often because it is time-consuming, but I can do a tarot spread for you. Just contact me on Skype.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And to leave off where I forget his name about the water.
Darren.
But, okay. Yeah, Darren. Hey, Darren. With regards to Dr. Osaki, he did a study where you know, if you tell water that you love it, it recrystallizes in a more positive matter. And then they had clinical studies where if you were growing a plant, and if you talked and scolded at it, and you told the other plant you loved it, that the other plant that you told that you loved it would flourish and blossom into a beautiful plant where the other one would just decay and die. So it's the intent that you have, and I like to look at you as more of a soundboard of soliloquies.
That's probably the best way. Just another reminder too, Colin. Thank you for bringing this up again. Remember that the human body is mostly water, so all of the slings, arrows of outrageous fortune, like foisting and thrusting into other people's souls, is being memorized by that very water. So be mindful.
Yeah, right. Ways. Remember Christ reigns, right? The brain.
Phone.
Take the B away from brain. The B is the 13th warrior, right? So take the B away from brain, and you have reign. Christ reigns. Yeah.
Well, exactly. Ophiuchus, the healer reigns indeed, and this is one of the magic parts of decoding all of the sigils into their anagogic state, way beyond the allegorical, because then you start seeing laid before you are the true intents that were hidden in them, so that we can flip these things over, neutralize the word into their singularity, meaning that every word means what you think it does and it's complete opposite. And if you're walking around in a polarized state of mind, just spewing these words out, they are going out with another's intent carried on it, and you're not aware of it. That's the hidden carrier wave. That is the carrier wave that is coming in through the reptilian brainstem, the mind control setups. So if you are vulnerable, aka ego-driven, you are just propagating the bullshit that the system wants to be created, because in the sound of the words is the creation, and the intent, whether it's yours or someone else's, from that magnetic neutral flat line, is what's going to be created. That's how this whole thing for me has been kept afloat, and we're dissolving it every minute. You want to see someone driven to this? Well, here I am, because I know what it is, and you are there too, and all of you, and we all have that responsibility. And I'm most grateful for everyone that has decided to finally say, "Screw this! I'm standing in truth. Come hell or high water, I don't give a shit." And here's the joke: now, once you stand in it, and truly stand in it, you're going to see your own Teflon shields. You're going to see your own invincibility. And it might take a little bit of getting used to, but you will see it for yourself. You will see people at malls partying in front of you. You will see empty roads in front of you and behind you where there's normally traffic and all the rest of it, because that is exactly the energy you're putting out. No one gets into my space until I invite them.
Hey.
Yep.
Go ahead. I'm good.
And you know what people are putting out there too, Kate? I pulled into the parking lot the other day, went to get some food, and this is what we are doing, right? And the license plate said, right, I'm looking at it, it said, and you said it the other night, the way. Literally, the license plate said, "Thy way," on the back of the license plate.
That's a nice heads up.
Yeah.
How about?
Joe's here. Yeah, Joe's in here too.
Yep, I'm going to come in. Here we go, Richie. I love what you have to say, and I'm going to say this because I've been listening for ages. I listen every day for over a year, and I'm in awe of where the table's at, where everyone's moving and growing. I would really love it if you didn't comment on everything that was said a little bit so everyone else can get in. There's times I'd love to come in and I just wait and wait.
Jump right in and I'll zip it. I'll zip it right up.
I've been sitting here for a week or two wanting to say something, and then I really just wanted to embrace my own ego need. At this point, I thought, I can embrace it and own my stuff and reflect back, and I've really moved. It's been a wonderful movement of seeing what's going on, and I'm watching, and there's so many times I want to hear what someone has to say, or I could even come in.
Well, you don't need permission, like Kate said. Jump right in.
I'm not going for permission. I'm asking you if you could not comment on everything that was said.
You don't need to ask me for permission. You don't need to ask me for permission to be quiet.
Richie, you're missing the point. Hang on. That's a chill. Take the egos down a notch here, okay? Okay, I know. Relax. It's all good.
Breathe.
Just breathe, okay? Because it is a natural human tendency in a conversation when we're really going on things to want to keep going. And this is something I had to train myself out of, okay? So this is why I tell people, mute your mics on your end, because it starts to break you of that, I got to say something after everybody says something mentality. And it happens on occasion, and it has, again, I totally get what Joe's saying, and there are a few people that come in here that do not allow for others to get in because they're too busy jumping all over it. That's why I sit back, because I'm waiting for people to get together on this and just let everyone have their thing. Yes, everyone's words are important. None more so than anyone else's, and none less so. So just keep that in mind. That's all, because it's a habit. It is a program. Break it.
It is.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, Kate, I've tried to mute out. Hit one. I can't mute out for some reason. Do I hit one again? I'm on the phone. Telephone. Yeah, I've hit one and I can't mute out.
No, one put your hand up. It's a mute on the other end. Basically, then, if you can't mute on your phone, then be very consciously aware of not talking while someone else is talking. I get it. Yeah. It's okay. We're all excited. Control it.
Totally.
That's all. Go ahead, Joe.
Right or wrong.
Wag your tail silently.
Yeah. That's why I love the mute button.
Get on the conversation. Am I being heard?
Yeah, you're on. Go ahead. Like I said, I'm sitting back. I'm letting you guys go here. Take it away.
About the water. That's one of the reasons why I always bless my food before I eat, because everything's made out of water, and so I put my intention into the food before I eat it, and then I eat it, and I actually feel a difference. I don't know if it's just psychological or not, but I do feel a real difference. And I suggest that everyone try it and report back as to what their experience was.
Yeah.
Very good point.
I do it exactly the other way around. I bless my body, so everything that goes in is automatically good.
Hey.
Either way you look at it, that's a good way to look at it.
There's a code for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I did an experiment with the kids. We did 2 plants, one with written on there, we hate you, you're ugly, whatever, and the other one is you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, all those nice things. And we had them side by side, and it was interesting. They both pretty well grew at much the same pace, and you couldn't see any obvious difference. What I recognised the difference was in our intent. None of us wanted to tell the plant that was ugly, terrible, we hated it, that we did. And we used to talk about, it's how do you say that to a plant or anything and think that? So our intention wasn't to do that to the plant. We just observed. It's not just the words and what you're saying. It really is your heart's intention behind it. We had no desire to hurt the plant, so they both grew vibrantly together.
Joe, I have to jump in here to tell everybody what you said is probably one of the most profound truths that you will ever hear. and you said it so masterfully. You can say whatever you want to a plant, because I tell you, when you started saying that, the first thought that came to mind was, I couldn't do that. I could say it, but I could never intend it. And lo and behold, what did you just say? That's exactly the proof in the pudding. You see, that's why those that do not have a malevolent intent cannot harm, regardless of what is being said, because the intent was never there. Now you're seeing the difference between what is a true spirit, a Christ consciousness, versus a bioborg. Beauty.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Well done, thank you.
Hey. This table rocks.
Hey, if I could say something in regards to Rich with the license plate. Yesterday I saw a plate that was a state plate that was Air Force 777 BZN. And so you got the 3 7s, which is the God number, and then you have, and then what you have is the God number 777, and then you have BZN. B is the 13th warrior. Z is the last number in the alphabet, and N is N the hex you guys were talking about, or it's a sideways Z?
Well, yeah. What you have there is the Christ consciousness swastika. All you got to do is lay the Z or Z over the N.
Right. But if you add them both together, they could both be 26, which equals 54. 5 plus 4 is 9, and 9 is the divine number.
You got it. And, of course, you had me at Air Force, which is heart in the mirror, right? Fa.
Right. So
great stuff.
So God is in the force of all air that we inhale and exhale as well. There's a lot
we are the air to the Fa Rose, which is the heart of spirit breath creation. Yes, we are the air Fa Rose, the Air Force. You cannot make this up. It is
the finite within the infinite.
You got it. You know. And Richie, we're not picking on you, buddy. It's all good. Again, it's just I know the exuberance and I know the excitement of this table, and
totally.
It will carry you, baby. And there's really,
Richie is awesome. I've learned a lot.
Oh, totally. I love you, Richie. I love you, Richie. And and it's all good. It's all good. This is just again another beautiful contrast, because I'll tell you, there's no one more guilty than I of doing that early on. Okay, so I get it. It's like, I can't shut up.
It's understandable. It's
totally it is,
because you're actually finding people who gel and vibe at your vibration.
Look, mate, it's just a phase of waking up, and one of them is having the superiority. The next one is reacting to everything. The other, there's a whole lot of them, and we all go through it. So no worries. It's good. It's good to hear. Yeah, it's just part of the phases, and it's learn to wag your tail silently. That's all it is. Because it's excitement. It's a high. You know your brain's popping. You're waking up. But I wanted to comment on the whole water thing, not literally on water, but for the allegory of water, subconscious, remembering water is retentive, we retain water. Bless your body before you do whatever you do, and you will be in a state of harmony and ground zero. That's at least what I've been learning this last weekend. I've been spending time with my family, which is always a bit of a pressure cooker. After wading through the kiddie pool of pleasantries, you realize the patterns and the programs that are slowly closing in, and the deep pool reflects a lot of shit, a lot of my own shit. So I had a good look at it all, and what I decided to do is shift to, I love you all anyway. Whatever you do, you can't harm me because I love you. And the whole energy shifted, and the party turned out to be a real party instead of a butt clenching, oh my God, as long as I make it through to 6 o'clock and I can go home again. I was a bit tired after the weekend, but it wasn't as draining as it usually was because I changed my state of being. It is not what I do, it is not when I do, it is not where I do, it is how I am. And that is the basic of it all. It's basically what Joan said, what Kate repeated, and what I'm now repeating too. It's just I've come to this point again through this weekend of reflective family fun.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Now, we got about 7 minutes or 6 minutes to roll over here, and I'm going to leave the table open, and to show that I'm a good sport, I'm going to hand the reins to Richie so that he can get the sense of what it feels like to be directing the table. And, yeah, it's yours, Richie. I'm going to give it to you tonight. And I'm going to literally, at the top of the hour, in just under 6 minutes, the table left open. Now, Bindi, you still have access to the board, yes?
I'm not on the board, no.
Okay, if you could get on the board, that would be great. And sure. As far as opening mics or whatever, but I've said this many times in the past, and I'm putting it into practice now. This table is yours, okay? This table is yours, not mine. I just set the table, okay? And this is where we get to take full responsibility for the table, not ownership. We don't play the ownership game, okay? So on that note, Richie, I'm gonna in 5 minutes I'm gonna hand over the reins to you, and you can direct the table and let conscious be your guide, as they would say, Gemini cricket style, right? And I just cannot express the gratitude I have for every one of you. And yes, we all go through our. It really is. The only way I can describe it is like in kindergarten when you bring your bestest, favoriteest toy to school, and you can't wait to get up in front of the class to show how fucking cool it is and how cool you are, and you got the bestest toy in the world. We know. I know. Isn't it great? We all do. That's the bitch, right? We all have the coolest toy in the universe. It's called consciousness, and I totally get it. And it does. It takes a little bit of time and a little bit of. It doesn't take any effort. It just takes the simple acceptance of knowing that you do absolutely have the coolest toy in the play box. There's no question, and we all have the same toy. That's the joy of this table. We do. We all have the same friggin' toy. So I just want to say a great big thank you again to everyone. And I am going to literally drop the headphones and all manner of control of the table, and I'm giving it all over to Richie for the remainder. It depends on how. I'm not going to be anywhere near the computer, so I won't actually know if the call gets dropped or anything as it can. So if it does, it's just the way the net works, and it's all good. But that being said, I'm giving master control to helm control to Richie tonight, and I've had a couple of people drop off here. That I think Fabian 704, he's dropped off.
Yeah, I moved to the country to get the hell away from the city, and well, that's part of a little bit of a drama. So I apologize for that.
Oh, it's all good, my friend. It's all good. I just want to make sure that Bindy's on the board so that I've got someone there that can keep an eye on the mic to make sure they're open. Okay, so I'm going to abandon all of you. No, I'm not. I'm just going to let you guys be who you are. You know, and hey, Colleen, we still got just under 3 minutes. So what? Because I'm going to walk away at the top of the hour, and I'll come back whenever. So don't worry about it. The table's yours. All right. The cat's away.
Hey, Kate, I wanted to tell you, Kate, when we hung up today on our call, a red-tailed hawk came at my feet, about a foot away from my feet.
Whoa!
And sat there and looked at me, and I looked at it, and it was like an hour went by. You know, it was only a minute, if that. And then it came up, and it just kind of, it was so surreal. It just kind of like was in the air in front of me, and then it flew off. And what came to me was, of course, you know, with the hawk, it's all about vision and about rising above and seeing the whole picture. And then I went up and I looked up Hawk medicine, and it was about embodying the power, but being very responsible and aware not to bite off anyone's head.
Well, that's the universe just coming back and showing you exactly what we were talking about. And
yes.
I fight tooth and nail to show everybody how absolutely right they are. All it takes is to change the perspective on it. That's it. And I've got Alvita, I brought you into the call with me because I know you've been getting bumped off the she's not there yet on Skype. But anyway, she's been getting bumped left, right, and center off the phone line, so I've just brought her into the main call with me. Let me just make sure. Oops.
Yeah.
Hey. Somebody's call just got returned. Oh, Elvita, are you there?
I'm somewhere. Well, I'm on. Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. Because you tagged me on Skype as well, so I thought I'd lost you again. So I was going to break. Anyway, if you want to jump in on Skype, you can jump in there too now. So you got backup.
Oh yes, I'm on backup. Okay, carry on.
All right. So I'm again, and that is perfect with regards to our conversation today. So everything's perfect. Told you you're right.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? Now, Richie, I want to make sure I've got you before I leave. You there?
Yeah, I heard Colleen talking about the hawk. I just jumped on it. Yeah, I had a.
Okay. Well, you're that you're now hosting the table for the rollover, yeah? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was wondering why you didn't jump in to say cool. Anyway, the table is yours. I'm just showing I'm a good sport. I want you to feel what it feels like to be the host, and I'll tell you, it gives you a completely different perspective. And I want to show you what it feels like, and it's yours. Okay, so there it's. Everybody, Richie is the host for the table tonight, and have at her. Okay, guys. On that note,
hi, Richie.
Banging going on in the background.
Be blessed, brother, sister.
Supersonic.
Right. Okay.
33 all day.
Thank you, Kate.
All right. Love you guys, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow
love
night.
You.
Have some fun. Okay.
All right.
Too.
All right. Well, I got to go to the bathroom first, so you guys take over.
Nope. Right.
I'll be right back.
Don't hurt yourself.
Don't pee on the seat.
Bindi, I love what you said, Bindi, about just really blessing your own body, and it's not even really the word bless, is it? It's just
it's a feeling you create inside yourself.
Yes.
For the word, there was nothing.
Yeah.
Mhm. That beautiful.
That was the beauty of
nothingness.
That was the beauty of that experience at the time when I met Eloise Charest. She became.
Now, when you say bless, what do you mean by bless?
Well, that's what I said. It's not. Someone used the word. I think somebody used the word bless.
I did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
words
go ahead, Bindi. What you were saying.
Yeah, words don't really cover it all, but it's like a road sign. It's pointing towards a state of being. Blessing for me is finding the point of neutrality where the basic emotion or feeling or whatever you want to call it. I call it a singular flow of mind, body, soul, intuition, and instinct. All of me is then tuned together instead of fighting itself. You know, the light wolf and the dark wolf are not fighting each other anymore. They're all well fed and are all rounded, all present here person. And that's when, in a state of blessing.
Merkaba.
Maybe, yeah, could be.
Well,
I want to say something before Rich gets back, if that's okay. This is Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi,
Tracy.
Hi.
Hi.
First, I want to say hi. I want to say to Bindi, I love you so much. I love how you are so reflective and deep, and what is the word? It's not poignant. It's that you put upon yourself the same strict procedures that you would put on somebody else. And I love how you took responsibility and really owned. I went through the same thing this week, and especially the last couple of days. And you're a Scorpio, correct?
Yep.
Yes, and I have Scorpio moon, so I do the same thing. And I just wanted to thank you for mirroring that most people aren't that intense on themselves or a situation and take that much responsibility and change it. And I just want to thank you. And then I just want to say, hi, Colleen. I missed you. I missed you.
I know. I miss you.
And that's all I wanted to say before.
It's so good that you're back, Tracy. I know you're always there, but yeah.
I am always here. I just don't always talk. And then if I do, it's too something. It's always too much something. But I just want to say I love your voice, and I love Bindy's intensity and straight on. Fuck it. We're going to cut this sword. We're going to sword through this. Yes. I mean, I love it because that's how I am. And I know how difficult it is because nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah, I just want to
we have to restrain ourselves. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Simple and honest, you know. That you can sit there and evangelize, and we're waking up and we're there, and the Babylon's down, and I think, right. No,
exactly.
Not until it's
just bottom line it. Bottom line. I want the bottom line. I am too tired, too old, too done. I just want the bottom fucking line. What is the truth? Even if I did bad, okay. Yep. And then I'll deal with that. But whatever the bottom line is, that's all I want. I don't have time for any more shit.
I'm not afraid of the sting of truth.
Yeah.
And the sting.
Neither. Neither. And I just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah. For Scorpio, sting is homeopathic. I don't mind the sting of truth. I'm used to being stung and stinging. There's no effect anymore.
Me too.
Yeah, good.
Me too.
And my daughter, who's a teenager now, she's a Gemini with the Scorpio moon. And man,
oh God,
she can have a sting. And I'm of course Virgo.
Oh Lord, oh Lord. Yeah. I'm the opposite. My daughter's the Virgo. I have 3 planets of Virgo. Well, I don't mean to talk about myself. I just wanted to listen more. But I wanted to thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Tracy. Much love.
Yeah. Hey, I just wanted to jump in what she said, the bottom line. And, that's the way it was for me. And I think for the ones that are sincere, and a host, that's I don't know. Kate's, see, the thing is, see, what I do, and it's only been a short time, that I've sharpening my ears, see, that's the trick, is listening, because that part of this Christ consciousness we're talking about it's already there in you. It's and it's a matter of listening.
And I think that's why we're all. I know that's why we're all here at the table, because we recognize that, we resonate with it, we know it, and that's why we're here. That's why I'm here. I speak. Mm-hmm.
We feel it. More importantly, because this is my allegoric story for knowing, the word knowing, because all words have a root, all frequencies have a root, right? At the root of everything, it's love or fear. It's yin, it's yang. Yes. That's it. It is what it is. The function, that's us. How do we function?
I disagree. I think it's both. I don't like these either or dividing things.
Well, we bridge the gap. We enter neutrality. When we accept the fear for what it is, fuel for our love, we don't level up. We gain another degree of awareness. That's the only thing that separates everyone. There's no us. The lack of awareness is what keeps people down. The greatest fear of this century is awareness.
Yeah, it's
because, oh my God, I have to admit, I lied to myself, and I got lied to, and I've been part of a lie, and oh my God, no way am I doing that. Don't you dare talk to me.
Because in the awareness comes the responsibility.
Yeah.
That word.
Yeah. Who wants to be responsible because they're upset?
Yeah.
Who wants to be responsible because whatever.
Well, look at the amount of people that are in the world. I mean, when you start seeing things in a different way, is seeing that, and standing with that, because what were you just saying, Fran, at the end there? Because I wanted to piggyback on that.
Yeah. I often get confessions. It's
confessions from people to you mean?
Oh yeah, that's the word. That's what the word does. I can sit. Something can happen in another's perception, and I'll pick it up. Everybody knows when someone's off with them.
Oh,
we all know it. We can be anywhere and know when there's an energy impeding, trespassing upon our space, because our heart, through heart math, heart resonance, has proven that when a thought or an attack upon our energy field happens, the heart contracts, not out of fear, but in self-preservation, to condense its energy field so it cannot be harmed. That's a golden rule.
Yeah. And neutralizing that. See, what I've learned to do is sometimes I'll confront that other point of me. Sometimes things are better left unsaid. So it's like, and I've heard Kate say, and I used to say that, well, all the time, is let the situation present itself. And I do script out things in certain ways, but I'm just preparing myself, and I go by what Jesus had said in the Bible, is that when you go into war, too, to prepare yourself. And what I'm talking about war, it's within, because that war, right? It's inside of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my many points of me, right? That's the war. So neutralizing that, that's that's the trick. Yep.
In a way, isn't that what Kate described as fist fight? You're preparing your ego to deal with other egos.
Yeah.
Fist fight, hold the light, or carry out the dead.
Right. And we all do it, and I do prepare too. But I'm just getting too tired for it. But is that really being peace?
Yeah.
Or neutral? No, it's not being neutral. Being neutral actually is indifferent. It really doesn't fucking care what happens.
Well, when I say prepare myself, let me just elaborate on this, is that I'm not under the illusion, like I said, that I'm not walking amongst the dead. I was in that position, but the thing is, I started to see things in a different light. So when I say prepare myself, is I'm not under the illusion, and the people that we engage with every day, I'm not under the illusion that I'm not walking amongst the dead, So it's inevitable, unless, like I say, I go live in a cave and go off with the Buddhist monks and hide out.
I threaten
See what
to
I'm
do
saying?
that.
Yeah. So when I say prepare myself,
I
to know at any
threatened
time.
to do that a few times.
Yes.
I threatened to go to the top mountaintop and say, "Are you kidding me? I could go there and if I was really in the light, I would live 1,000 years, and if I wasn't, I would die of hypothermia. Either way, I win."
Right. So either way you win. So when I say prepare myself, what I'm doing is I'm sharpening the tools. You see, I'm sharpening the tools that are in the toolbox. You see, I'm not dulling them. If they're dull, then like Jesus said. Jesus said he didn't come to bring peace. He came with a sword. A double-edged. Right? I mean, these words just ring so friggin' true inside of me and others when you reach that Christ consciousness, as you begin to see the allegories and
Richie, what would the sword look like for you? What would that look like?
My sword? I really haven't tried to visualize it.
It's in your mouth.
The sword. But the sword. Oh, you know what? Yeah, the sword is the word. The word.
That's what I was going to say.
With flesh. Yeah, the word.
Yes is silent. Yes is silent,
right.
And it's the word, and that's what Jesus came to educate us on. Is on the word.
Hey.
Yeah. Right. That's right. Drop the S.
Well, yeah, and then it says in the beginning there was the word, right?
Yeah.
But before the word, there was that
then
nothingness,
came the sword.
The silence.
Yeah.
The silence and the nothingness before the word.
Yeah.
No, it was the intent, the energy of thought, and then it came the word.
Like people who get really mad at me and had enough of Darren and make a big stink, I look at them and I smile and I go, thank you. It's okay. And they look at me like a bird and I say, our souls have done the exchange. They don't need us involved to do this exchange of energy. I witnessed you. I accepted you. I accept this behavior for value. Because that energy you're giving to me, I know it. I felt it. I was it. You know?
But didn't, what was the saying that he who lives by the sword shall die by the sword?
Yeah.
So don't we accept that every time we speak we're casting spells as well, and
that's right.
that silence letting down the sword is the highest.
Well, I didn't say I'm living by it. I didn't.
No, don't defend, Rich. I was just.
Yeah. No. I'm saying when you say like live by it, so you're just is that the sword is the tool. You see. I mean, I don't need to. He didn't come to bring peace. I don't need to come to Christ.
No, and he didn't, and neither did I.
Well, right, I didn't come to bring peace because I am peace. I'm at peace.
Well, just be silent and let the swords fight each other then, or words, or spells, or whatever, however you want to word it.
That's if you want to, If you want to fight each other, that's the choice,
Well, the fight's in the self, like you shared earlier.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Let's put it this way. How about
silence your own mind and you don't kill yourself with the swords debating within your own mind.
Beautiful. Can you say bang on? Can you say yeah? Can you say accept it? Accept it. Within. Affirmation. Right?
Or witness. I'll say witness. I won't say any of those.
I love that.
I'll witness
is the
it.
Best. That's why I giggle, because everybody's hating the Jehovah's Witnesses, and I'm like, yeah, they sure cut one up well. No one's ever going to witness.
Well, if they were a real witness, then they wouldn't be speaking, because they're carrying a sword.
That's right.
See how funny and simple everything is?
And if you share your sword, what does it do? It cuts a little.
Oh, you know what? I share with you, and I lay down my sword and I share with you. I don't need a sword or a word to share with you, do I? No, I don't.
No, but the word acts like a sword. In frequency,
yes,
at the root,
exactly.
like the word sorry. Here's a really beautiful, and I pray for all to accept it within their own truth, however it comes, at whatever point. But the word sorry, here in Canada, it's like, you can't walk down the street without hearing it 10 times. Oh, I'm sorry I reached for the same door handle as you. I'm sorry I walked on the same sidewalk with you. Oh, sorry I looked at you. Sorry. I looked at that word because it never felt right. I was always made to say sorry, even when I did nothing. Notice that? Do you notice that in your own past?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
You have to say sorry. You have to. I didn't do nothing. You're sorry or else you get the strap.
And what did you find with that word, Darren? Sorry?
At its root, just like any emotion or any word, it is a fear-based word.
Oh, yeah.
It is a word of separation and division. It went through changes, 3 changes apparently, and its root is French word, soirée. And when I read the definitions of all that it's associated with, I come up to the fact that it is you giving of your power, essentially draining your electric magnetic field, your battery, and giving and worshiping another.
Doesn't it kind of mean that I apologize for existing? My mere existence.
Well, in essence, yeah. In essence, yeah.
I'm never sorry to exist.
Yeah.
Sorry means, and it also means abusers use that word all the time. I never say sorry. It's one of my hated words. So it means that I can repeat. I can repeat my behavior. I'll continue my behavior. But if I say sorry, that's permission to continue my behavior. That is one of my most hated words.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Because growing up as a Catholic in the Catholic Church, you had to go give your confession.
Pitiful.
And you had to, and you had to say sorry. And I remember as a kid thinking I had to make up things so I could tell the priest. I'm sorry that I yelled at my mother. I'm sorry, And that's the word sorry. Wow, that's really interesting, giving up your life force.
Yeah.
See, if I ever would have, I think I went once, my mother had me go to Sunday school or something, and I didn't like it, right off the rip. So that's like when I say is that our energy, the point of view, when you wicken those walls of your, right, impenetrable fortress. See, if one of them guys tried getting me, they would have probably got a kick in the shins, or I would have told them to, see, that's the thing is when you right. So you guys are right on with that sorry stuff. I mean, the last forgiving thought I ever had was that forgiveness was a complete illusion. It's a trap,
Well,
and it takes a while getting to that point. It takes as long as one
let's just
chooses.
say it's part of the stairwell.
I'm never sorry because I have the right to exist, and I take full responsibility for every thought, feeling, and action.
Yeah.
Why would I be sorry?
Exactly. Just like the Ho'oponopono teaches.
Yes. That's beautiful. You want to say it, Darren?
Sorry implies hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. You say sorry in court, you just gave up your right. You just said to the court, you're under them. You understand them. I understand no one. That was another word that I had to be very creative to get people to hear me. Well, I don't get this with this. I don't understand. So I jump up on the chair or their coffee table and I went, do you want to understand me?
And now we're beginning to understand, right?
Yeah.
Understand. Yeah.
Standing upright.
Mhm.
Being that child of light. You have a core.
Yeah.
You have a heart.
I
could take dowsing rods and prove it to you. I could put the dowsing rods and 20 minutes later, you'd prove it to me.
Yeah. See, there's a lot of stuff that, like this forgiveness process, or the trap of the ego. It's just all that trash that you built up inside of you. You can't. That's why the universe is perfect. Is that within what's been. That's why, like we talked, the Savior program is obviously it didn't work, right? So move on to something.
Well, everybody's got
Rich,
to witness it.
Yeah.
I have a question on forgiveness, or from what I thought I heard. Again, forgiveness, doesn't that put you in a hierarchy position to bestow forgiveness?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
So I just
when you really, when you really understand, when you really understand that no one's making a mistake. It's all our experiences that we're putting out there, and to say I forgive you. You're right. It feels, Tracy, hierarchy, like, okay, well, I'm above you, and so I'll forgive you.
Right. Spot on.
You have to You have to forgive the self first before you can truly forgive anyone else. You can you have to love yourself and accept yourself fully before you can truly love and accept anyone else. If you can't look in the mirror, if you can't look in the mirror for 21 days straight and tell me I'm a liar, I assure you, you know nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I broke. I broke my chains with 21 days straight, going to the mirror all day long. I love you. I am lovable. I am lovable. I am loveable. When I started switching it to loveable, that's when I started spelling it with the E. I kept the E. So it was 2 words, 2 entities.
That's the
first
only
10
one
days,
you can.
Yeah, the first 10 days, I tell you, this is fucking weird. Like, I was a redneck. I've come full circle. I don't eat my tail. I've come full circle.
Yeah.
You know,
I can hear it.
I've hated.
Yeah.
I've stolen. I've trespassed. I've done everything that we are supposed to experience in this realm. Because when we transmute the energies, thus coming into a neutrality state, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you're right, Darren. The only person you can love is yourself. You know.
And you're you're going to be tested along the way. You're going to have
you know what
test.
I used to say? Yeah. Well, absolutely, yeah. And the thing is, with yourself, the last forgiving thought I had for myself was that thought was a complete illusion. And I write down a lot. One of the things I wrote down, and it dawned on me because I was quiet. I'm always by myself. That's most of the time. And I wrote down, your ability to forgive me is just as useless as your power to judge me. So come and hug me or slug me, but you'll never ever unplug me.
Nice.
Nice, Richie.
Yeah.
Were you speaking to yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well,
because when it comes down to it, it is ourselves. You know, when we screw up, like the other night, and my emotions got to me, and it's not about having anybody forgive me. I have to live with myself. I have to live with that, you know, and that's where the real growth. It was really a correction for me. It was an energetic correction.
Right. Yeah. And that did to what? That totally expanded the consciousness. It's like a bloop in the star.
Yeah.
You know, there's a new star. Maybe that was you. Did you do that?
Well, there were lots of earthquakes that night.
You know,
here in California.
Hey, Colleen. Colleen.
Yeah. Yes.
I just want to go a little deeper then, since we were having a conversation or the word forgiveness. Well, isn't that a hierarchy within yourself? Was it your ego that forgave your spirit as the hierarchy, or was it your spirit that allowed the ego to fuck up? Who forgave whom during that conversation within yourself?
That's the spirit.
Colleen.
Let me just say real quick.
Colleen.
Yeah, that's the spirit. Oh, Colleen. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm sitting with that for a minute.
Did your ego forgive your spirit? Because forgive is a higher right.
Yeah.
So your spirit forgave your ego for being ignorant, idiot, and needy, and whatever. See the difference?
Well, I don't know if that is true for me, that the soul would forgive, because the soul is just so pure. It is what it is.
So,
it stands in that.
So did one part of your ego forgive the other? Who forgave who?
Did I use the word? I don't know if I used the word forgive. Did I? I just said I had to live with that, where I had to really look at everything, and then it's like it just comes to you. There's no forgiveness. There's no words to it. You just come to that. You just come to that place, right?
Right.
You
where I
to
just
that
place where you enter grace through forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
You enter
I don't believe in that word, forgiveness.
It's grace.
I believe in existence. And my ego has to exist here on the 3D and it fucks up, and it gets emotional, and it gets everything. Just like you said, I have hurt, I have manipulated, I have done everything. Yes, I have. So I was just wondering which part.
I don't know.
Is it another higher ego that forgave
it feels like
the
an
lower
energetic,
ego?
It feels like an energetic correction is what came to me. And then, like Darren used the word grace, and
that's a good word.
Yes, I feel grace so much, the grace comes from within, not from something outside of ourselves.
Right. Agreed. I love that word, grace. I would say that when that happens to me, and it happens daily because I'm very introspective, and I would say that I allow my experience with ego. I never separate my ego from myself in this 3D. I believe everything's whole and nothing's good or bad. It's all a big fucking mess. And I just observe. And I just observe myself, and sometimes I'm, quote, good, and sometimes I'm, quote, bad, and I'm going through the steps or whatever. But my spirit, when my spirit watches it, you know, what my spirit says to me is like, oh, you're coming along, little child. It's good. Enjoy your experiences. Just as I was a mother, and I allow my children to fuck up. Tracy, your ego is free to fuck up. And it's free to stumble and get messy, and it is messy here. And that's what my spirit says to me. It just smiles. It's just like, hey, enjoy your ride. Pay attention to what you can. Be conscious as you're learning, blah, blah, blah. We all stumble. It's a mess down here, even within myself. And I'm the best person I know. And I still fuck up.
Well, remove the separation of being the best of you knowing. Witness that
I like being both.
Well, you get
all right, let me jump in here for a minute, though. Let me just jump in here to make a correction, because you were asking Colleen about the, and yeah, it is. It's an energetic change. But see, what it is the Christ consciousness can see how tricky the ego is. So when I see somebody, it's a trap to think that you have the ability to judge someone or that's the ability to forgive. That's the illusion. You see, that's the illusion. The ego can't forgive either.
The ego can't forgive,
or the ego can't. That's the energetic.
Well, the ego runs in a state of love or fear.
But what the spirit asks, so even the word, even the thought.
What about your inner child?
Is ego.
What about your inner child?
Mm-hmm.
The spirit is accumulation of the masculine, feminine, masculine, inner child aspects of our being.
Well, the spirit's whole, and it would never ask you for forgiveness, nor beg for some. So anything about that is ego. That's all I'm saying is don't whip yourself. We whip ourselves 1,000 times for every slight infraction. That's ego. And so am I asking my ego to stop whipping me, forgive me, I forgive you? That's still ego. Stop whipping me. Right?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I meant?
Yeah. Totally.
The spirit has no reason to forgive because the spirit's whole.
Yeah, but here when we are taking things personally, we might want to forgive ourselves for believing another's definition of us.
Maybe we should stop forgive ourselves for believing them and whipping ourselves.
Hey, guess what? Humility comes at acceptance.
Maybe it might be an idea to exchange the word forgiving with letting go.
Letting go is letting go. I watch people let go, and they get nice cysts on their ovaries. They get nice they get the cancer in their testicles. You know, these people let go. Oh yeah, you're still hanging on to that? Well, we never discussed it. There's no resolve. There's no actual being forthright with clarity. You know, we'll just ignore that.
You're not really hearing what I'm saying, but it's okay. You keep going.
Okay, say it again. I'll be quiet.
Yeah.
I'll be quiet. Say it again.
It's not about being quiet. So I'm saying the word forgiving implies, again, hierarchy. Something is better than the other and has a judgment over the other and has a place to say you should be doing something different. That's one way of doing it. I personally have a hard time with sorry and forgiveness and the whole idea of penance, of wrongdoing. I think it's different instead of wrong. If it works, it's fine. If it doesn't work, don't do it anymore. But we're not that simple, are we? We need to learn. Sometimes you need to repeat something to learn what it is you're allowed to let go of.
Yeah.
That's how I'd rather see it than forgiveness. I learned to let go of things and so they don't affect me anymore. So if somebody 2 years ago I would have said, shit, I don't want you to do that. Now I don't even register them doing it because it doesn't resonate anymore. The negativity of it doesn't resonate. So letting go for me functions more than sorry or forgiveness or any kind of judgment. But that's just me.
Yeah, you know what? The thing is, forgiveness and judgment, they're interchangeable. They're the same words, the same intent. They're interchangeable. You know, one will revert or convert or pervert into the other.
Yeah.
You know, that's just where it is. And staying within that conscious knowing of that.
And same as the word humility.
Well, the longer
humility
you can hold,
is a hierarchy.
Let me just hold this while it's there, and is that the more you can hold on to that minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, week by week, the longer you can hold it. So it's a practicing. It is a converting, like we say. It's an alchemy of transmuting that energy and seeing the illusion within it. You know, and as you do that's what transmutes and brings that energy into where Christ reigns. You know, the brain, where Christ reigns. You know.
Yeah.
So
it's conversation.
So go ahead. I just wanted to get that out.
Well, that's good. I like it.
Hey, Richie, where are you from in Massachusetts, buddy?
Hampton, yeah. Hampton, take the T out of the middle of Hampton, and you got Phantom. You got to move the M and N. I'm a Phantom.
I'm from Fall River, man.
Fall River?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've been all over, up and down the East Coast.
Are you originally from Mass?
Yeah. And but yeah.
It's a small world.
Yeah, it is a small world. Yeah. Small universe. Just looks big.
You know, I found it interesting. I was watching this video on a crap tube or whatever you want to call it, and some guy was talking about how the moon, something to do with how the moon is actually projecting the universe to us in our our own little projection or hologram, whatever you want to call it. And I found that kind of interesting because a lot of people say that the moon isn't really, it wasn't created in our solar system. They have a lot of theories about that stuff, and I'm really interested in that stuff.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. This is why transmuting this energy in this place where we're rising into is day by day, like Kate said. It's happening at an exponential speed, and that's what it is. We just stay the course, and trust, and let the cab driver drive. and I listen, things come into our consciousness and they're there, and we know we're meant to speak them, and just making sure that that's the pure intent, because you can feel it. It resonates,
So what's my brother that just
like
mentioned
Jesus
the moon?
said. Well, yeah, this is where I'm getting at, is Jesus said that there's going to be a new earth and a new heaven, but don't take it literal. See what I'm saying? Is that the old earth and the old heaven has passed away. See, and I haven't broken that down. Maybe Kate can, because that's what I'm saying is matching that frequency, because she, she downloads stuff and I can hear it crystal clear, but being able to transmute it with my voice, that's what I'm perfecting, and that's what we're all where we want to be at.
Taking the red and the blue pill together.
Yeah,
well,
my brother
hard.
that mentioned the mood.
Yeah, take blue and the red pill together, cancel the matrix. You don't want to create a new one. You don't want to play in the old one. You want to cancel the matrix. Neutral.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't. Yeah, the red pill. I take the blue pill, right? The red pill.
Well, when you when you transmute, it doesn't even matter where the moon is or if the moon's real or anything. You transmute all of it.
The universe is a pinball machine, mate. Nothing's in its original place. Nothing.
Yes.
And you can try and figure it out linearly in this illusion of linearity, where everything used to be and originally was, and try and figure out a whole history. And all you're doing is creating a new timeline that is not coming from your inside.
History is written by the victors.
It's outside of fun, and I absolutely am into it all. I'm into syncretism, no doubt about it. But don't ever replace it for inner knowing. It is a reflection of your inner knowing. But it is not knowing itself. It is the shadow after the flame. Remember, Plato? So play with the pinball machine, but don't be it. Look at it as
That's right.
The inside.
Be in this world, but not of it.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that.
Things want it to be. Just rescript it to be what you want it to be. For me, the moon's just a beautiful light in the sky.
But it's good that that's recognized. And to my brother who asked that question, I personally believe that the moon is artificial and is part of our matrix, but this is just a game. And remember, do you know the Blue Beam Project?
Yep.
So how do you know what you're looking in the sky is actually the sky? I don't think it is. It's all just a programmed AI matrix. And so the test is, okay, that's cool, that sucks, but that's cool. So then you have to go to your inner self and go, where are the stars? Or inner self, inner universe, multi-universe, because the inner, you know that the universe is expanding, and I study a lot of science, or I used to when I was a kid, and how expansive it was. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time to know all that. And then at the same time, I said, well, the universe is also infinite inward, so that's where I went. And so there's many teachers, we discussed that word, but for lack of a better term, it said that the stars are in you, and the inner verse is, I think, more real than the outer verse, because we don't know. I believe that this is all projection, a program that we have to break out of. And how do you do that? You go in.
Yeah.
Because I can't trust anything outside myself.
Sure you can.
I can't trust that anything is real.
You created the whole game, so you can trust it. You don't
That's
have to
true,
put
too.
And this is the point too why it was with me, because it comes and it goes real quick. Is that right? And getting on that's the other thing that's gone into me and stayed there, and it comes and goes, and it's come now. So is that everything's within us. So all points of consciousness, or like that is in us. I'm in you, you're in me. So that's why to know how powerful you can be as you raise your consciousness up into Christ consciousness is that you literally have that energetic effect, with that cause, you see. So when you know cause within, and I call them certain folds, because Jesus had said this, and coming into this recognition, I'm of a certain fold. So it seems as though the way this game's played is that we're within a certain group. That's why when Kate read that fortune cookie, that's what resonated with me. Is that I forget exactly what it was she said. Is anyone that the group's missing you, or I'm missing the group,
yes,
or
that's
something
what it
like
was.
that.
The group is missing you.
Right. So that's where this calling within us, goes, and the cab driver will bring you there, and
he can simplify it by basically saying, on the subject of knowing, trust you will know what you need to know when the time is there, instead of trying to accumulate knowledge so you are prepared and you know, because that's just intellect, that's just data. But trusting my intuition and my instincts to know what I need to know when I need to know it is all I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I need to know nothing.
Yeah.
You don't need to prepare for nothing. Just trust in the now that you know what you need to know now. And the rest is psychobabble.
Yeah, I mean, my intuition...
That brings you to the table. That is the resonation you're talking about. That is because you knew, now I know what I need to know now, and I'm at the table and at the right time. Or wherever you are in life, whatever you're doing. It's not just this table, it is everything. None of it is not included.
Because my intuition tells me, because like when we see the things that I've seen with these eyes, both within and without, is when that change is made within. I mean, I'm seeing things without. I've seen rays of light, once directly in front of me, and then once over the trees. And it was only after I started getting onto the show here and participating. I'm seeing these things, and others have too. Others have witnessed, and witnessing. That's the thing, is we're going to witness these things in the outer effects of the inner, cause. What's going to happen to tomorrow? I don't know, but I will. Is that there's big changes. There's big changings being made. That's what we're doing on a collective level here. We're changing the world. We're changing the universe. That's why when Kate says, and I just got Joan of Arc, is these people were crazy enough to think they could do it, and guess what? They did. So that and that's. And patience, patience is another big tool aspect, and
patience is a virtue.
Yeah, so, and I like that. I enjoy that. That's what's meant to happen, I seeing this stuff, it's I can just imagine, what's coming. It's all good.
What if like half the world thought as all of us did at the same time?
We'd have our world.
Right. It would be ridiculous.
Yeah. Could you imagine a whole country of Kates and a whole country of yous that wouldn't stand a
crazy
chance,
people.
Standing upright people? Oh.
Yeah.
That'd be
Did I just say people? I think they're more about, beings, living souls.
Yeah.
That's where we change the vibration in ourselves, is by just self-correcting the words. I'm going to work on forgiveness. I think that's a huge something I need to look at. I'm very grateful for the being that shared that part, because I look. even with something I've been working with for a long time. Because I've had to swallow a lot of pride, a lot of ego, had to observe it a lot to find grace. And that's why I use the word ego or forgiveness, because I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive myself for believing my dad. I had to forgive myself for believing my uncle. I had to forgive myself for believing that person. I wasn't the one that went, oh yeah, I'll show you. I was the one that went, oh, I am.
Hey Darren, how old are you?
I'm immortal.
What's that?
So
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, all right, in the 3D physical realm.
Well, I used to say I'm 28 holding on to 13.
Nice. That's good.
I love what you were saying, Bindi, and today I just happened to catch some of Alan Watts this morning, and he was talking about just letting things happen, and the more we allow and not try to control, the more order we will have in our lives. And we were always taught the opposite. You have to do this and you have to control that, and we have this illusion we're in control. But when we let go and we allow, then the natural order comes into place. So then your life is in more order than you would if you're trying to control it.
Yes. There's no control.
In that allowing, and that's another word I love, letting go and allowing.
Yeah. Well,
allowing it to flow.
I accept.
Yeah.
Acceptance is. Acceptance doesn't mean you turn a blind eye. Like, acceptance doesn't mean I can't do nothing about it. No, acceptance is, oh, there it is, that awareness. Holy shit, it scared the shit out of me. That's not who I am.
Go with the flow comes from inside again.
Yeah.
There's not the flow outside, because I can sit here and just take everything that the outer world throws at me or seems to throw at me, but I'm trying to follow the flow that it's coming from within to the outside world, or at least from within and wherever. Doesn't really matter, but that's the hardest part to do, because I'm so programmed to resist any kind of a flow. It's first the discerning which flow is mine and which one comes from within, and then it is how to stay true to that. And that's it's a wonderfully thrilling journey, and it's the biggest adrenaline rush I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the flow, and it's only just realizing lately that flow from inside is more important, is where it's at, because there's especially if you look at Facebook, it's lately it's littered with all these memes telling you what to do all the time, and it's all about this go with the flow and this all mindfulness, and it all looks very enticing and very, it's sensible, but then there's always this little thing in the corner of my mind nagging, saying, yeah, but why do I do not believe all of this? Why does this not sit well, all of it, some of it? And then I thought, it's not the flow of the outside world I'm trying to surf. It's the inner wave. It's the inner wave, the sine wave. I'm riding my inner wave. And at the moment, that is a physical experience, and I am trying to make it the best party I've had, because if I was ever to look at my life as a movie, you betcha I'm going to be sitting there cheering instead of thinking, oh my God, the drama, the suspense. Yeah. I don't like soap operas. I like comedies, and I like party movies, and I like road trips and movies, and documentaries about rock bands and, raw sex, that. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to create, instead of sitting there evangelizing all kinds of new age ideas, and so that's my inner flow, and that's what it is today. And it might even be completely different.
But doesn't that feels so much different? The inner flow, or the word, or the allowing. It does feel like an inner. What would you call it? I don't want to say an inner guidance, but I guess it would be
Inner peace.
Inner peace. Thank you. Yes. And then the word control, trying to control your life and how it goes. It really, you can feel that that's heavier because it's coming from the outside.
Yeah, you're trying to work the how to say this. Instead of playing with the dolls, you're trying to play with the house.
That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
Trying to make house and behave instead of the dolls in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is too is this: I recognize, everything is perfect. There's no coincidences, and everything is happening, for a reason. And Kate had said it was something about the name, and it was I cracked up. She said, I can sum up my whole radio career with 4 letters. The name, and I think she said fame, so that today, right, I get on, and it just, popped into my mind, so I got it. And that song, fame, I want to live forever.
All right.
I want to learn how to fly high. And then after they go through the chorus thing, it says, remember.
And what's the word to remember? The name.
Remember, right?
Well, yeah. Wasn't that from I forget what movie?
80s.
Wasn't that in a movie?
Fame.
Yeah, there was a movie.
Oh, Fame.
Yeah.
That's right.
So these are other points of us, I'm saying that inner essence, And the other song too that I thought of too today was the ride, Captain, ride upon your mystery ship. Do 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 do.
That was a good song. Yeah. Well, who was that? Oh gosh, who was that?
Right.
Idea.
Who?
No idea. I don't recognize.
Hey, when you say fame, if you break it up, it's fa me.
Mhm.
Yeah, the hot note.
Yeah.
Do re mi fa. Me.
And me.
Yeah.
Electromagnetic.
Fa mi mi fa. Yeah. Okay.
And so you have those moments, and that music, that music and that tone and those vibrations, that definitely lifts you up into a Christ state, Gets the wheels turning. Definitely gets the wheels turning.
Oh, we are the program. When we transmute energies, no matter what they are, what space, the equation's the same no matter what the condition, circumstance, situation is. Period. And when we transmute those energies, aka our emotional states, primarily, would be a great start, is freedom. Lift the veil.
Yeah.
Lift the veil, and what happens? The truth finds you.
Hey guys, speaking of music, none of Kate's music has been played for a long time. So, hint, shall we do it too?
Well,
yeah, Kate's. I couldn't believe it when I first heard heard her voice.
Cindy, can you put it on from where you are? A song?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
If everyone's in agreement, I'll hit.
Well, who's all present? Let's have a show of hands at the table. State your name.
Say aye.
And then put your mic on, state your being, and just put your mic on mute so we can hear it clearly.
Oh, hey, the name of, definitely, that sounds good. The name of Ride, Captain, Ride, it's Blues Image. The Blues Image.
That's the name of the band, Blues Image. Huh.
Blues Image.
Yeah. So, I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in.
You too. I'm looking for the tune, guys. Hang on.
I'm in.
Right. I'm just going to hit whatever song in a minute if I can't find it.
Oh, interesting. We'll see what... Okay.
1,000 blessings to be in your presence.
Okay. Now what? We'll do Feel the Broken Dreams. Here we go, guys.
I've never seen before my eyes this dream. I've never known what makes this child to see. Like tears from a mountain pouring gently to the sea, a curiosity, will you dare?
So this is why, for me, it was very easy to observe others that were standing in truth, and those that had reached had said they wanted to stand in truth and had reached their own fear threshold, and they ran away and denied truth, went back into serving the very beast that's devouring them, which is unfortunate. But again, that's their choice, and there is nothing I can nor is there anything I will do about it. I simply let the golden rule manifest, and that which you wish upon yourself or upon others you've wished upon yourself. And don't worry, if the intent's there, you get another go-round on the merry-go-round. Yay! Same game all over again. Another Kate deja vu moment coming at you live on criticalmassradio.co.uk. Okay, so let's get into this, shall we, and have a little bit of fun. All right, choice is Prologue by yours truly. Which you too, by the way. I'm just another point of view. How does one begin to explain things that are so far removed from programmed thinking in such a way as to even begin using words to say it, let alone expect acceptance of it? Where does one start to outline the mental traps and pitfalls laid out so clearly once one begins this so-called journey of truth and self? How do you tell a programmed Christian or any other religious zealot that they're actually flowing energy to the very dark forces they purport to loathe? Benevolence doesn't come to you in robes, uniforms, and pageantry. It comes completely naked with nothing to hide. It doesn't serve itself first and then claim to be benevolent because it shares only table scraps from the food you provided. That is a realm of malevolence, deceit, control, and quite simply, purest evil, the mirror and antithesis of live. And what are those that serve this darkest of intentions? What are we to say to expose them when the vastness of humanity has been duped for so very long under shrouds of secrecy and deliberate misinformation? How easy is it for someone that actually has benevolent intentions, going along to get along in the mother of all tricks, matrix, to accept truth that flies 180 degrees in the face of their pre-programmed realities? How does one try to expose the very program that is in full force and effect controlling their minds to defend this very program with some literally to the death? Truth be known, you don't. You simply plant the seeds that only true spirit hears and walk away. It took a while, but I no longer have the concern I used to for these most willing to hear truth beings, where, if it is their wish to fall, I let them. It matters not to me who they are in relation to me, as I learned in the contrast that I mattered not to them anyway. Live and let die after all. It was this very concern on my part that led to the most painful of lessons, in order that I may finally see this unconditional truth. My value to humanity will be measured in deeds, not material stuff. That is the norm for those caught in these webs of deception. If they are simply too blind to see, it's not up to me to pry their eyes open. It is up to them if they are meant to, and ultimately worthy of this most difficult of spiritual tasks. It is quite the trap here, in that we all have lived this physical existence, running on information devised to keep the mind versus the heart in control of the reality. I see the system worshippers and enablers in the same way I remember a kid that loved to beat frogs to death with a dog brush, slowly. Fortunately, I never witnessed this pure evil, but rather only sickened by it. This is the same mindset the majority of our supposed law keepers act in, whether they are robed, suited, or uniformed. It's all the same psychotic beast to me. I see anyone who allows or creates suffering of another in the same light as the Roman guards relentlessly flogging and whipping the Christ in the Passion of the Christ. The religions have done well to encapsulate a state of being in a singular meat stick that is somehow coming to save them. Honestly, if you experienced that level of spiritual and physical flogging, would you be so willing to let go? This was and is the real lesson that was being shown, yet the supposed duped religiocosus chosenitis types will be the first ones to condemn you, steal what they can from you, and, in the end, justifier, blame you for all their woes. This is exactly what one can expect from those you are trying to awaken to this lesson to set them free. I have learned that slaves love to be slaves. It requires no courage to be one. Just the same as a slave, one must piss the master off too much. A slave must go along to get along, or get whipped or executed if they don't. Regardless, every slave must be a willing participant in their own slavery, lest the system fails completely. A slave must be well conditioned with physical fear in order for it to be controlled, so well conditioned that they do these things gleefully thinking that they are actually free.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box here at criticalmassradio.co.uk. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, coming at you live from an undisclosed location somewhere on Earth, somewhere in the universe. What does it matter? It's all physical anyway. Anyway, busy day, I guess. I had a few thoughts that needed to be downloaded onto essay form, of course, and I decided to do a full circle with the choices essay and create a prologue, which, you know, people would say the epilogue, but no, see, I don't deal with the under. I deal with the row effect of the row key. It's quite interesting. It turns the low key into the row key, right? The spirit breath key. And that spirit breath key does not reside in your mind. It resides in your heart. That's where it lives. That's where we are. That's where we live. That's the center of the known universe. And you're the only one that knows the center of your universe. So it's really a journey to the center of the heart. I just spell it differently. I just rearrange the same letters. You know, that's what I do with allegories and anagogics to make it really, really clear for people. When you start seeing the magical nature of this reality, at first it can be a little bit unnerving because you're thinking, "Oh, this is like crazy. How is this working like this? It's such a coincidence here and here and here and here." Because, well, there are no coincidences. There is only coincidence, which is when things happen exactly because they're supposed to. And it's only when you start seeing through this particular aspect of the program that you start taking control of your own ship, your own helm, where you can take control of your own mind again, and you are not going to be ruled by another. That's the thing about the universe and the way we've got this all set up here, that the nonsense can go on for so long until parts of the consciousness finally begin to awaken to its source potential, true potential, of all that is, all that ever was, all that ever will be. And here in Meat Stick Planet Earth, we got a little bit sidetracked in having our pure intention corrupted by others' soulless and without that pure benevolent intention. And, well, such is a lot of those that wanted to play on that side of it. What you sow, so shall you reap. And I wrote in this essay regarding that. I was kind of tossing it between the idea of, the Passion of the Christ, and by the time I got to the end of it, it was getting abundantly clear that Well, the Passion of the Christ was a choice that was already made. So it really wasn't about that. It was about the choices that we all make every instant of every moment of now, where our thoughts traverse the entire universe in the twinkling of an eye. And, twin culling, duality culling, or are we more apt to understand it from the singularity perspective, where you, as part of all creation, all consciousness, are both capable of good and evil? Well, God creates good and evil. That's a fact. You can create whatever it is you want. And really, what separates us at this table from, and again, this is about the separation from the all. What separates us from the masses of humanity? And it's really a very simple thing. It's the intent and the choice contained within that intent, where there are aspects of us that are just quite content to go along, to get along, don't rock the boat, don't tip the boat over mentality. There are those of us that are saying, sorry, this boat is riddled with holes, it's sinking, it's bullshit, and who the fuck is at the wheel? And then you suddenly realize that, oh, wait a minute, that's my job. And then you do it. And then you start taking control of your own ship, your own mind again, where that mind is no longer under a hood, which is another mind, hood, ship, psi, ment, ent. The list goes on, and you start tearing apart words to see so much more contained within them. And then you start seeing how the words have been literally flipped over, upside down and backwards, and used via the sound, which is pure creation, pure vibration, with a little hidden, or let's say a hidden intent on your carrier wave. And the carrier wave is pure creation itself, which is what any being with spirit and or soul consciousness. Remember, I talk about the soul as in the overall all. I've come across so many people that started out on this road but dropped off to oblivion the instant their own fears smothered the truth they claimed to seek. That is what I call conditional truth, in that I will stand in truth until it costs me or doesn't suit my own selfish desires and vengeance upon others. That is where I see most, if not all, those in the system and free-man psychosis. The insanity of that is the same as going up against a tank with a Nerf gun. No, truth is not a convenience or a means to winning. It is the only thing that destroys all system programs and their masters. Truth is the ongoing evolution of self-manifest spirit, a journey of purification that separates the wheat from the slugs that feed on it. In it, no one can control you, manipulate you, or more importantly, parasite your living field, which is their only source of life. This is why Respawn's ability of self far exceeds anything these psychotic aspects of a dead consciousness can muster, because without you, they are dead, and they know it. All this poison needs to keep it alive and flowing is your agreement, your spiritual contract of simple acceptance, and nothing more. Yes, is that easy. That is where attention flows. That where attention flows, energy goes. Energy being the inner G hex, or the inner hex, and GOS is the hexes of creation. So have a look at how attention, have a look at how attention you literally pay to this poison shetty, or how much attention rather. Typo, all good. Hey, I type in a hurry. Anyway. Shetty is a term I use for dead, soulless bioborg meat sticks, the mimics of humanity, the copyrights. I have watched, counted, and measured all the Judases in my own life in the contrast of pain and gratitude, where those with souls know not what they do due to the spiritual and mental infestation of an aptly named Cyst M. So I know this. Those Shetty, however, are the doomed, and the banished from consciousness, never to return. In short, they've had their 1,000 years to find their own souls and failed. I mean, seriously, how many kicks at the can does one need to get it? I offer the same mercy offered me, fully in your mirrors. where no quarter was offered, nor shall quarter be given. Those that make rules are now compelled to obey them. And there is, after all, only one, and that puppy is golden. They won't get it because they can't. They are the last bastions of evil, soulless, without remorse. And in the golden rule, their wish is now granted, and the law of truth cannot be more beautiful than that. How do I know this? Well, it's easy, because never a peep gets returned to anything I send to the dead of our realm, because they can't answer. Truth and responsibility cannot be mimicked, copied, or manifested from a dead consciousness, because it's dead. Why do you think their system is one based entirely on dead things like corpse, dead body, military corpse, corp orations, cops, silent or no R, thus no spirit breath creation ability, and made to sound exactly the same as core, which is heart, and core, which is the true center. When you are part of their core, corpse, your heart is sonically spelled dead. Literally, and all your creation ability is no longer yours, willfully given to another in full knowing or ignorance of knowing. I'm only concerned with those that are ignorant of this truth, where the rest are doomed to non-existence anyway by their own choice. I will not trespass free will choice by anyone or anything. If you wish love upon all, it reflects back perfectly. If you wish harm on one, you wish it on all accordingly, and why the insanity of those playing Nerf balls with tanks are only manifesting their own doom as well. No, the truth seeker's road is not an easy one, given the decrepit nature of this world and humanity as a whole, but it is the only road out of the long-dead Rome and all its evil servants. Can you handle this road? Are you willing to once and for all stand in full knowing of who and what you are? Can you endure the mindless slings and arrows from the walking asleep and walking dead alike? Are you strong enough to stand in defiance of all the evil this world propagates? Do the children halfway around the world matter as much as your perceived own? The sheer lunacy of claiming to own a child, any child, is exactly the same mirror of why children are enslaved in the first place. Take the time and spot the spiritual contract here that binds all children, and why I see all living spiritual humanity as just another point of me, with all jetty or shite removed once and for all. Start thanking all your religious friends for keeping the dream of wars alive, because without their zealotry and hatred of other religions, this could not be possible. Thank them for so vigorously whipping you while you were down, because you rose from their shite-infested. While one master exists, so must a slave exist also. This program is easy to spot, and as simple as being a tad disgruntled because someone is stealing from you and have the nerve to tell you that that is normal and that you must accept this. This is why the illusion of an external government exists at all. With governments come their police, their militaries, their robber barons, their lords, their mayors, and all manner of psychopathy to keep a slave in order. It only works because of the lack of responsibility most lack, and act in a typical childlike manner they do. The supposed governments on this planet are just placement in this planetary game of let's play house on a global scale. As I recall, I don't remember Henry Ford going to any Ministry of Transportation to get a license to drive his first car, and nor do I remember Orville and Wilbur Wright doing likewise. They simply did their thing. Humanity reminds me of the child in school putting up their hand to ask permission to pee, as if psychotic control indoctrinated teachers controlled that most basic of natural laws. Your body decides if it has to pee, nothing else. I have exposed too many things on too many occasions regarding what feigned power these behind-the-curtain wizards actually have, and it totals out, and after rounding it out as well, to an absolute zero. Nada, zilch, nothing, zero, sweet fuck all, period. So controlled are so many that the mere mention of truth has them pulling out their cat-o'-nine tails in fear, drooling with glee to whip you, and all the while using pre-programmed justifier reasons as to why they must. Truth shorts out the program, and the program is not happy. I have wasted countless hours with so many one-on-one to expose the fact is true, and why I don't even bother anymore. You cannot negotiate with insanity. and you cannot reason with liars and thieves. This is the insanity of those still messing about in the legal romper rooms like free men or sovereign citizens. Sorry, patriot types. Guns don't solve shit either, and only lends itself to deeper and darker responsibilities of possibly killing a spirit-filled human versus an already spiritually dead bioborg. Are you aware enough to spot the difference yet? If one's emotions control their mind, that ability is blinded because only in a neutral observer position can you begin to even understand the difference, let alone spot it. Humanity is rife with dead biocomputers, soulless and empty, but they look and act like normal human beings. This is why I know the supposed world leaders are nothing but these walking dead bioborg, without any sense of spirituality, because if they were otherwise, wars would not exist, nor would money, religion, politics, courts, police, militaries, or anything resembling this system infesting our world around us. The instant any politician or the like calls to war and stands front row and center on the front line as the first to die, I may start to reconsider after they're seen to not be another patsy. It is my wish that I can move hearts enough to stand in truth against all odds, in defiance of their own programmed minds. It is my wish to show others that if one is hurt, we are all hurt in kind. Most of the talking heads of humanity sell wonderful snake oil with pre-scripted scenes designed to lull humanity into thinking that they and only they know what's best for everyone as the next fear porn scene flashes across the TV screens. They paint one side as evil and ramp up the how good and free you are, and before you know it, you're marching down the main street of a city claiming victory after the murder of millions, waving one flag or another that I see as unworthy to wipe even Satan's ass. Unfortunately, the cold hard truth is not easy to see, and even more difficult to accept, let alone stand in. It requires one to stand in defiance of all things rammed down your gullets as normal society, where the more easily managed slaves are grabbing their pitchforks, whips, and guns in the same way as the mobs in the aforementioned movie. I've wanted to do a write-up on this movie, and I suppose that is what this is. For those that have seen it, how sickened were you observing humanity represented as a whole in this allegory? Kudos to Mel Gibson for making this so gut-wrenchingly excruciating to watch and literally experience. This is the same gut-wrenchingly excruciating, painful experience every truth seeker has had to endure, mostly from the ones closest to you, your family, your friends, and those that serve the system of their own slavery. I think the toughest part about this is simply just knowing this. You have been left for dead, ridiculed, hated, stolen from, targeted for rumors, lied to and lied about, and so on. You have been hung by those you tried to help. You have been abandoned by those you love. And the only question I know you likely asked was, why? But you already knew that answer, and it lay in the striving for unconditional love, which is the no compromising where matters of truth, pure truth and heart are concerned. You did so and do so because you know no other way but that most lonely of roads that few find and even fewer walk. Right? Not as your soul, my soul, etc. Because, you see, religion did a beautiful job in separating humanity from their own soul. I think I mentioned this last night. You know, one of my favorite questions to a Christian or anyone of any religion is well, when you die, what happens? And they'll generally tell you, well, my soul goes to heaven. I just say, great. Where the fuck are you going then? Well, and that really always stumped them. It's like, because you see the duality in that statement. My soul goes. Okay, well, it looks like we got shut off and cut off there for a second. I was on Skype checking. Okay, well, I'll go back to the room and see how long that was. Okay, just to go back on this, the BTR call-in number tonight is BTR listener 022. Go figure, it's 22. It had to be. So hopefully you guys are hearing me okay now. It seems that we got bumped again. So you guys hear me okay? Catch 22. Isn't that funny? Thanks, Bindi. Yep. Good stuff. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting ride tonight because of what I'm going to be unleashing. I will be unleashing the Kraken of Krakens tonight. And cards fall where they may. All right. Thanks, baby. Yes, and I will bring it on. Appreciate that. Okay, so let me see. Where was I going? That's the thing, right? When you get interrupted with silly things like signal drops and whatever, it's annoying. But at the same time, it's perfect because it was meant to be. So I just accept it. Now let's move on to the essay. First off, before I do this, because I have posted this not only on my my own homepage, but also in the discussion group that was set up. See what I mean about people working behind the scenes? You gotta love it. Anyway, I do get a lot of requests for Facebook contacts. I am at the 5,000 limit. My apologies. Apparently, you're only allowed to have 5,000 friends in the world, and according to the system, I've reached my limit. But I don't buy that for 1 minute. So, interesting enough, we have, like I said, there is a discussion group that I will be spending infinite amounts of time on, alongside my own homepage. But I know the groups can grow to whatever the hell they want to grow to. So, the group is called Kate of Gaia Discussion Group. So just search that on Facebook and send along a request if you want to be a part of the group, and that way you'll be able to get complete updates all the time, because like I said, I'll be working between this page and my own home page to keep people in the loop, and that way I get, it's easier for me to stay in contact. As you can imagine, I do get a little bit busy on this end. Had a couple of phone calls today as well. Great chatting with you, Sam, and wonderful chatting with you, Colleen, and you know, this is just an amazing moment of now that we're all getting to experience. And for me, it's about cutting off all of the last of the shite that is still sticking where it shouldn't be. Well, I'll stick it to where the sun doesn't shine, quite frankly, and that works for me. But anyway, without further ado, so again, it is Kate of Gaia Discussion Group. Just search that out on Facebook, and that'll bring you to that page. Send along your requests, and everyone gets added. So, yeah, we had quite a jump in there today. So I think and I just put the word out, I guess, about 4 hours ago. I think there's already been about 60 people that have come over. So, yep, so we'll sit there, and that way it's full access, and we can all hang out. In the meantime, and without further ado, I'm going to read Choice's Prologue. You'll understand what I'm talking about when I get through it. And really, this is a consciousness gift to you, for those of you who stood in the face of it all, and who stand constantly in the face of it all, and you're starting to see your own power. And this is the most important thing that people need to see. And this is, as far as I'm concerned, the only role I have here is to bring that to you, how to get there, because I know that you are all powerful, you are all creation, and that we've been duped and dumbed down for far too long, and we've had quite enough. And it's like I said, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make gods. And I think I know of a few other people that are doing the same thing, have done it in the past, and are doing it alongside me as well as you, you know. So this is the path that we have chosen. We knew from a very young age, and I mean, the stories that we share are so similar that they're effectively and essentially the same story anyway.